You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1404 1404 Chapter 326 Murder Case 1. Walking out of his house, Suyu looked at the sky. It was already dark. The moonlight tonight looked very beautiful. It was a dark and windy night of murder. But I'm afraid it was a little difficult to kill. It was still fine under the mountains and seas, but above the mountains and seas, it was difficult. As for who broke into his house and why, whether it was good or bad, did I need to know? I only know that my master did not agree. If the master did not agree, it would be stealing if he did not ask. Walking out of the community, Huang He was still waiting for him outside the community. Seeing him come out, he hurriedly said, "Brother Lang, did you find anything?" "No." Suyu smiled and said, "It's a broken house. If there's a relic in this place, I can King stand on my head. Don't be too full of yourself." Huang He reminded him that anything was possible. Suyu laughed and turned to look at Xia Bing. He smiled and said, "Little brother, who has been to Suyu's house? Let Suyu know later. It's considered that I didn't come in vain." No comment. Xia Bing's face was cold. He was unwilling to say. Suyu shrugged and smiled. "Then forget it. Even if there is something good, I suspect that it has been taken away by the Xia family. Suyu's house has been here for so long. If the Xia family wanted to take anything, they would have taken it away long ago. How could it be our turn?" Xia Bing said coldly, "Don't slander the Xia family. Do you really think that the Xia family can't do anything to you?" Suyu couldn't help but laugh. All right. Forget I said anything. How did I slander the Xia family? It was just like that. There were a lot of outsiders here, but the Xia family has never entered. What a joke. I think that house is about to be demolished. It's not like no one has entered before. Xia Bing didn't say anything. There were some things that he did not know. If he knew, he did not want to say anything to this outsider. After Suyu and the others left, he turned around and looked at the neighborhood. He looked at the place where Suyu's house was located and lowered his head without saying a word. He did not know if there were any experts from the Xia family who had come to check, but he knew that the Xia family had tacitly allowed some people to enter and did not bother about them anymore. Those with backgrounds, those with connections, and those who wanted to find a connection to enter, were all allowed to enter later on. Now, Suyu's house wasn't a restricted area for those with connections. He didn't know why the Xia family would do this, why they would compromise. Could it be because Suyu had already left? He didn't know. Xia Bing had always kept his head down. His faith in the Xia family, his worship for the Xia family, along with the changes in the past half a year, some things were changing. The Xia clan did not seem to be the same Xia clan anymore. The Xia clan's blade was truly at a disadvantage. In the Xia clan's territory and in the southern Yuan, he allowed a group of outsiders to wreak havoc. He did not know what the Xia clan was thinking, but he knew that many of his brothers were very disappointed. Many of them were holding their breaths. Did the Xia clan have to be so weak? Where was the manor head? Xia Shower was not worthy of being the acting manor head. They did not acknowledge him. In the past, they might have acknowledged him, but now, they did not acknowledge him. Xia Shower was not worthy. He had lost the Xia family and the great Xia manor. Xia Bing had even suspected that Xia Shower had taken money from someone else. Otherwise, why would Suyu's home allow people to enter? Now, the great Xia manor was in an uproar. Did the Marquis see it? Did he hear it? Suyu did not leave. Instead, he walked around with Huang He. It was a very normal action. They looked around to see if there were any ruins in Nanyuan. Perhaps they would be lucky enough to encounter them. In the city, Suyu was not the only one. There were others as well. As they walked, Suyu smiled and said, "Brother Huang, how many people have come to this small place? Are there any sun and moon realm experts? There are mountains and seas, but there really aren't any sun and moon realm experts." Huang he smiled and said, "After all, this is the Xia family's territory. It's one thing for a few mountain and sea Dao protectors to come, but why would they come to the sun and moon realm? If there are too many sun and moon realm experts, who knows what they would think you're here for? It's not like you don't know about the Daming Manor. In the name of the Myriad Clan sect, the Zhu family killed 5 sun and moon realm experts. To be honest, these 5 sun and moon realm experts are all from the Myriad Clan sect. That was hard to say. Perhaps it was one of the clans that had infiltrated the area. Yet, they were all killed in the end. Do you have anything to say? No suns and moons. What about the sun and moon of the Xia clan? Then I'm not sure. Suyu smiled and did not ask any further. You're not sure, but I'm sure. The other party is within 1,000 meters of me. At this moment, the other party is probing me. This should be the sun and moon of the Xia clan, right? The old man from last time. When he left last time, the other party said that he was willing to help, but Suyu rejected it. Now that he thought about it, it is pretty good. Otherwise, it would be hard to face the other party. The sun and moon of the Xia clan is here, but my house has been destroyed. Is it the Xia clan acting on their own, or is there really an expert lurking inside? Who knows? As Suyu walked, he asked as he walked. He saw a person who he was not familiar with, so he asked who it was. There were people from all the big manors, young geniuses, and experts guarding the path. Some were protected by Ling Yun, while others were protected by the mountains and seas. There weren't any sun and moon cultivators. After all, they were in the Xia family's territory, so it wouldn't be that easy for anything to happen. After walking for a while, Suyu saw that the sky was already dark. He smiled and said, "Brother Huang, you're early. Do you know where good stuff can be found in a small place like Nanyuan?" You know. Suyu winked. You don't even know. Are you pretending to be me? Huang he finally understood. He was extremely helpless. Did you really come here to play around with women? There's a place. I knew Brother Huang would understand me. Huang he was speechless. F***ck. After a long while, he said, "I don't know if there are any places for casual activities that Brother Lang needs, but there are places for foot massage. Brother Lang, do you want to go?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1405. 1405 Chapter 326 Murder Case 2. Go. Suyu smiled and said, "Let's go together. It's my treat. Let's see the situation. I'm a very picky person. If it doesn't work, then massage my feet and relax. I'm tired after traveling for a few days." You're tired. I see that your clothes are all snow white. Are you tired? Huang he was speechless. He didn't even know if he should pay attention to him anymore. Huang he was also in the sky realm, but he wasn't as strong as Suyu. Suyu walked as he was in the 5th level of the sky realm. Suddenly, he said, "That, cough, cough. Brother Huang, I forgot to ask. Which family are you from?" There are many Huang families. Which family are you from? Huang he was tired, but he still introduced himself. I'm from the Huang family of the Great Qi family. We met once. Brother Lang, you probably forgot. The Great Qi mansion. Suyu thought for a moment, then nodded and said, "I remember now. I think I went there once in the year 344 of the Anping calendar. That time, did I know you? I met you once. It's been 7 years. It's normal for me not to remember. You're not a beauty. The Huang family of the Great Qi Mansion. Su Yu thought for a moment, then said, I kind of remember now. The great general of the Great Qi Mansion seems to be surnamed Huang. Are you from the Huang family? That's great. Your ancestor is also a descendant of the sun and moon. I thought you were from an ordinary family. Huang He smiled and said, I can't compare with Brother Lang. My ancestor, to be honest, he is 6 generations away from me. The relationship between us is actually a little far. Descendants, it will take at least 3 generations. The relationship between 4 and 5 generations will actually fade. It's not bad. It's not 16 generations. Su Yu laughed. You didn't bring a Dao protector. It's not like everyone has a Dao protector. Huang He laughed. Under normal circumstances, one would have to be a genius, or have a family with few children, a family with many children, and a good-for-nothing. How could there be a Dao protector? What do you think, Brother Lang? That's true, I don't have one. Su Yu said regretfully, I still wanted that cheap master of mine to arrange a mountain and sea for me, but he didn't agree. What a pity. Otherwise, I would have brought a Dao protector to show off. As they chatted and laughed, the two of them entered a clubhouse. Half an hour later. Su Yu's face was filled with disappointment. He transmitted his voice, forget it. Let's massage your feet tonight. Brother Huang, should we go together or separate? We'll rest for the night. Tomorrow morning, we'll go and search the entire city. I'll go and look for Su Yu's teacher or something. All right. Huang He didn't have any objections. Actually, he didn't have much hope. He and Su Yu split up to rest. Su Yu left the 2 technicians behind and yawned. Massage my feet. I've been tired for a few days. If your skills are good, you'll be rewarded handsomely later. The 2 aunties were very happy and started rubbing hard. Huang He walked out of the door and laughed in his heart. This is good too. If I really go to that kind of place with you, you have a big mouth. Perhaps the whole city will know where we went tomorrow. Nan Yuan isn't that big. This guy is shameless. He still wants it. He brought Su Yu here on purpose. Both of them are aunties-level masseurs. Needless to say, their skills are pretty good. Su Yu yawned and exhaled. Gradually, the 2 aunties' vision became a little dim. Soon, the 2 aunties came back to their senses. Su Yu was still Su Yu. He leaned against the massage chair and yawned, feeling a little sleepy. At this moment, a breeze blew past. The 2 of them did not notice anything unusual. Not to mention them, even Huang He, who was next door, did not notice anything unusual. The blood word created an illusion. The quiet word forbade breathing. The breath-concealing technique and the shadow divine text were all in play. At this moment, Su Yu disappeared from the club. The sensing jade was in full play. Su Yu was like an invisible person, quickly disappearing before everyone's eyes. At this moment, in the underground ditch, a stench filled the sky. A stream of water flowed past. So what if it was dirty? He was suppressing the fire in his heart. Dirty? He wasn't a disciple of any big family. Did he really think that he hadn't suffered before? Water transformation. The innate skill of the water race, coupled with the water word divine script, Su Yu's breath-concealing technique had reached its peak in the water. The breath-concealing technique of the rotary turtle race was already extremely powerful. At this moment, with the combination of various divine characters and innate techniques, Su Yu was wandering in this empty and smelly underground. Based on the route he had taken with Huang He, he also knew where some of the people from the large clans lived. Of course, many people simply did not look for a place to live. The southern Yuan people did not welcome them and did not allow them to live. Some people set up their tents near the city walls. Or they did not sleep at all and wandered around at night. Suyu wandered around for a while, but he did not make up his mind. Who should he deal with? Who should he kill? After wandering around for a while, Suyu made up his mind. He could not identify the auras of the others, so he could not find them. However, he knew about the 5 people who broke into his house today. Perhaps, you just think that it's just a broken house, and whatever you step on is useless. To me, this is my memory, my youth. As Suyu wandered around, he suddenly smiled to himself. I don't need a reason. Why do I need a reason? You know that it's my house, but you insist on going in. Then I can kill you all. A Seeker Realm, a War God Hall member. Does he have a big background? I don't know. Will killing them draw out the experts? I'm not sure. So be it. The Great Xia residence would be even more chaotic, making you all chaotic. Just as he was about to look for those people, Suyu was slightly startled. At this moment, a divine text appeared in front of his eyes. This was someone using the divine text to probe the underground. In his mind, little Harry Ball suddenly said, I'm familiar with the smell of this divine text. It's in the soil I ate previously. You're tuning into the Han Lee's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1406. 1406 Chapter 326 Murder Case 3. Suyu was speechless. I wanted to kill those people, but someone suddenly came knocking on my door. Divine text, does this mean that there's a civilized master up there? Scouting underground? Suyu checked the induction jade. It was too weak, so he didn't pay much attention to it. There was someone up there, just in the soaring realm. The person up there had gone to his own house. Suyu hesitated for a moment. Forget it, since he had met him, he could consider it as courting death. He had to deliver himself to his doorstep at this moment. Otherwise, he wouldn't have prepared to deal with him today. As for who it was, that wasn't important. Even if it was a member of the Xia clan who barged into my house without my permission, I wouldn't stand on ceremony with him. Friendship, that was for Xia Huyo. The others didn't have any feelings for him. On the ground trembled slightly. The soaring heaven realm young man who was currently exploring the underground frowned slightly. A divine artifact materialized in his hand, and he took a closer look. Was there any movement? At this moment, his shadow gradually darkened, but it didn't catch his attention. Suyu, who was hiding in the shadow, also saw the other party's appearance. He had not seen him during the day, so he was not familiar with him. The strength of the 7th level of the soaring heavens realm was not considered weak. From the looks of it, he was not too old, probably around 30 years old. He did not know which family's genius he was from. Who cares? The young man frowned and continued to investigate. Up until this moment, he still did not know anything. The great Zhou King's quiet, divine script had played a great role at this moment, and there was not the slightest sense of danger. Just as he continued to investigate, a dark color suddenly shot out from the shadow. Puchi. It was so low that it couldn't be heard. The young man's eyes suddenly widened. His mouth opened and closed, and he lowered his head. At this moment, his heart had completely shattered. All the divine scripts in his Sea of Will instantly disappeared, and his Sea of Will was also completely destroyed in an instant. The destroyed Sea of Will naturally no longer existed. Even if there were divine inscriptions, they had also completely disappeared. Soundlessly. In the blink of an eye, the young man died. Suyu didn't know him, and he didn't know who he was. He only knew that this person had once barged into his home. As for whether he was an enemy or a friend, those who went to my home without my consent didn't have any friends. His friends wouldn't do such a thing. Moreover, what kind of friends were friends if they didn't know each other? Suyu didn't take anything. A flame flashed, and the young man completely disappeared. Suyu also disappeared with the wind, and all of his aura was destroyed by him. A moment later, Suyu returned to the club. The illusion disappeared, and Suyu lay on the bed, continuing to enjoy the massage. Next door, Huang He was quietly cultivating. He didn't notice anything. Not long after Suyu left, a mountain and sea realm expert instantly arrived. He frowned slightly. The mountain and sea realm expert was dressed in the Dragon Martial Guard uniform, and a few people quickly came from behind. "Sir, what's wrong?" The others still didn't know what had happened. The mountain and sea realm expert frowned slightly and said, "Just now, there was an aura in the air, but it suddenly disappeared." The others quickly checked, but soon shook their heads. They didn't find anything. The mountain and sea realm expert frowned for a while, and then a rising aura suddenly disappeared. He didn't check carefully, but the great Xia Manor had some idea of where these people were. Who should have been here before? As he was thinking, an old man from the mountain and sea realm flew over. Seeing that some dragon martial guards had gathered, his expression changed slightly. "Lord Xie, what's wrong?" The expert from the mountains and seas of the dragon martial guards had the surname of Xie. When he heard this, he said calmly, "Just now, there seemed to be an aura that disappeared from this place. Could it be from your family?" "Disappeared?" The old man was slightly stunned. "Suddenly disappeared?" He did not dare to be slow. He hurriedly took out his voice transmission talisman and began to transmit his voice. A moment later, he frowned. The voice transmission talisman broke. He was a little shocked. It broke. He hurriedly asked, "Lord Xie, are you sure that a rising aura suddenly disappeared from this place?" Xie Shanhai said indifferently, "I can sense it, but I'm not sure. We won't interfere in the affairs of outsiders like you." "Lord." Although they were both Shanhai, at this moment, the old man still called him Lord. With a terrified face, he said, "Lord, my general only has one son. Lord, help me look for him. My general will definitely treat you well." Xie Shanhai sneered, "What does it have to do with me? Go look for him yourself. There's a high chance he's dead." He said it without any sincerity. He might be dead. He was also surprised. In that instant, his aura disappeared. He did not sense a second aura. He was gone. At this moment, a dragon martial guard suddenly said, "Lord, there's a storage ring here." As he spoke, he fished out a storage ring from a small ditch beside him. When the old man saw the storage ring, his expression changed drastically. No. Impossible. He was in big trouble. Was he really dead? The old man came from the Great Gold Mansion, and the young man who had been killed was the son of the Great Gold Mansion's general, who was also a sun-moon expert. His son was at the 7th level of the Soaring Heaven Realm, and he was exactly 30 years old. At this age, he was already at the 7th layer of the Soaring Heaven Realm, and could be considered a top-notch genius. The other party had only come to South Origin to gamble on his luck. Dead? He died here just like that. Who did this? His expression changed again and again, and he hurriedly grabbed the storage ring to examine it carefully. In the next moment, he used his willpower to probe inside, and his expression changed again. There was no doubt that the item inside belonged to the young master. It was over. He was from the mountain and sea realm, and his status wasn't low. In the general's manner, he was also a general. However, he had brought the young master here, and in the blink of an eye, the young master was dead. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1407. 1407 Chapter 326 Murder Case 4. During these days, the young master would come to investigate at night, and he would also investigate in other directions. The distance wasn't too far, but now. The young master was dead. The old man was terrified. Xia Shenhai also rubbed his chin, feeling puzzled. He didn't realize it. Could it be that the sun and moon killed people? It wasn't to the extent. After being lured away from the mountain by the sun and moon, the Dark Guard commanders in the city were on high alert. With the sun and moon sneaking in, it was hard to hide it from the commander. Just as he was thinking about this, the old man suddenly lost control. He said sharply, "Sir Xia, please send people to investigate. The murderer must not have gone far, he must still be in the city. Sir Xia, please investigate, the general only has one son." Seeing that he was a little crazy, Shanhai frowned and shouted, "Quiet. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I will send someone to investigate this matter. As for whether or not they can find out, we will see." They really needed to investigate. They had killed a person without making a sound. If such a person was in the city, outsiders would be in danger, and the people of the Great Xia Manor would be in danger. They still needed to be investigated. Of course, it was not for the other party. If he was dead, how could the general of the Jin family control the Xia family? Who asked you to come? Thank you, my lord. The old man's voice was sharp. If we don't find the murderer, my lord will not let this go. Are you threatening me? I don't dare. The old man lowered his head and gritted his teeth, but my young lord has disappeared in Nanyuan City without a sound. Even I did not sense anything. My lord was the first to come. You suspect that I killed him? Xia Shenhai said coldly, "If I wanted to kill you, I would have killed you long ago. Why wait until now? Do you still need to assassinate me? Zhang Min, think carefully before you say anything. The Dragon Martial Guards are the Xia family's private army and guards. Are you slandering the Xia family? I don't dare." The old man gritted his teeth so hard that they were bleeding. "I didn't mean that, but now that he's gone, Lord Xia, no matter what, the Dragon Martial Guards have to find the murderer. Otherwise, there might be another victim. My family's words are light, but if something happens to others, the Xia family can't bear it." He. Xia Shenhai laughed coldly, "You don't have to worry about that. If he died, so be it. It wasn't like the sun and moon were invincible, so what could he not bear? Moreover, I've long warned you that we won't get involved in your own matters. Who knows if one of you is the one who secretly killed him? A dog biting a dog, a mouthful of fur." Ignoring him, Xia Shenhai shouted, "Men, seal this place and investigate." Even though he said so, he still had to investigate. At the moment, he still did not know who the killer was. If he could not find out, the Xia family would lose face. Furthermore, there might be someone who wanted to stir up trouble. In the clubhouse, Su Yu was enjoying a massage when there was a knock on the door. Huang He rushed in and said, "Brother Lang, something happened outside." "Ah." Su Yu opened his eyes and yawned. "Something happened. The ruins have been discovered. Why are you in such a hurry? Let's just find it." "No, my friend told me that Zhang Heng is dead." "Who's dead?" "Zhang Heng. I don't know him. Am I familiar with him? Have you gone out with me before?" "No, he's the son of the general of the Great Gold Mansion." Su Yu stood up unhurriedly and put on his shoes. He casually threw out 2 drops of yuan qi liquid and said with a chuckle, "Ladies, if you don't have any money, can you settle the bill with yuan qi liquid? Is that all right?" The 2 aunties were overjoyed. In this era where everyone cultivated, who wouldn't recognize yuan qi liquid? This was a hard currency, so buying 1 drop of it for 100,000 ping coins was no problem. There was no problem at all. Su Yu stood up and saw that Huang He was a little impatient. He could not help but say, "So what if he's dead?" What are you so anxious for? It might be the Great Xia Manor that did it. Could it be that they're fighting with the Great Xia Manor? Then we have to reveal our identities and run. If the Great Xia family wants to kill us, they have to be careful. I'm the grandson-in-law of a 9th-level Sun-Moon realm expert. Huang He was so angry that he laughed. You're the grandson-in-law of a 9th-level Sun-Moon realm expert now? Have some dignity. It's not the Xia family. If the Xia family wants to kill us, why would they need to assassinate us? Since the Xia family has said that they won't interfere, there's a high probability that they won't interfere. I'm just worried that someone wants to stir up trouble and kill us in secret. That would be troublesome. The two of us don't have Dao protectors with us. That would be very dangerous. What's there to be afraid of? Su Yu laughed. To put it bluntly, when Ling Yun meets me, it's hard to say who will live and who will die. Even if Ling Yun is powerful, he should at least make some movements. If he attracts the attention of others, how can he forcefully kill me? Mountains and seas, sun and moon, it's not that I'm lacking in confidence. That cheap master of mine has given me some good things. I might not be able to beat him in a fight, but I can escape. When I escape, I'll teach them a lesson. Don't be afraid, your brother Lang is here to protect you. Su Yu laughed heartily and did not care at all. He followed Huang He out the door. At this moment, there were also cultivators speeding past on the streets. Very soon, an acquaintance of Huang He rushed over. He hurriedly said, "Right ahead, Zhang Heng has disappeared. It's hard to say whether he's dead or not. He's most likely dead. He even left his storage ring. Now, the Dragon Martial Guards are also investigating. That fellow is at the 7th level of the Soaring Heaven tier, and he's even stronger than us. He was actually killed without a sound." The youth was also very anxious. He looked at Huang He and said, "Brother Huang, someone died in this place. I'm afraid it's not good to stay. Why don't we leave?" Su Yu said speechlessly, "Leave? Can we leave now? If we leave, people might suspect that you have a guilty conscience. Everyone is investigating, what's there to be afraid of? The other party killed a person. Does he dare to kill again? Brother Huang, who is this coward?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1408. 1408 Chapter 326 Murder Case 5. The young man rolled his eyes. Huang He was also speechless. He said, "He's also from the Great Qi Mansion. My friend's name is Lu Li." Su Yu nodded casually. "Brother Lu, don't be afraid. Come with me. The three of us together. My strength isn't any weaker than Ling Yun's. As long as I don't run around, it won't be that easy for anything to happen. How can I kill the three of us in an instant?" Lu Li nodded slightly and didn't say anything else. However, he was a little worried. Zhang Heng was the only son of a Sun-Moon realm cultivator. His status was very high. He was truly a direct descendant, a mountain and sea realm Dao protector, but, in the blink of an eye, he died. A genius of the 7th level of the Soaring Heavens realm could battle a genius of the 9th level of the Soaring Heavens realm without any problems, but he died without a sound. It was too terrifying. The group of three quickly arrived at the scene of the incident. At this moment, there were quite a few people who had arrived, and they all looked a little solemn. Su Yu did not hold back at all. He directly used his willpower to scan through the crowd, heading towards the area surrounded by the Dragon Martial Guards. At this moment, quite a few people unleashed their willpower, wrapping themselves up. Some people turned their heads to glare angrily at Su Yu, but Su Yu did not care. He smiled and said, "Let me see. Don't block my way. I didn't probe your intentions. What are you all doing?" Each and every one of you seems to have some big secret. His gaze swept across the few people in the crowd. Very good. By unleashing their willpower, little Harry Ball would be able to recognize some people. Warriors also had willpower. Of course, if they were weak, their aura would not change when they unleashed their Yuan Qi. Even if he went to his own house, there was a high probability that his aura wouldn't change, right? A few people went. In the crowd, he also saw Zhou Hongba and the others. Su Yu ignored them and directly probed the place where the incident happened. He searched carefully, stroking his chin. He said, "He died here. There's no trace at all. Either I'm mistaken, or, the other party is at least 2 levels higher than Brother Zhang. Even if Ling Yun killed him, it wouldn't be that simple, right? 2 levels." At this moment, someone beside him whispered, "I suspect that it was Sun and Moon who did it. How could Shanhai hide it from the others so easily?" Lord Shanhai of the Dragon Martial Guards arrived very quickly, and Zhang Heng's Dao Protector also arrived very quickly. They didn't discover anything, so it's possible that he's at the Sun and Moon realm. Why kill Zhang Heng? Did Zhang Heng discover something, or does he have a grudge against Zhang Heng's father? Who knows? It can't be from the myriad clans, right? The reward for killing a genius of the human race isn't low at all. Furthermore, Zhang Heng is the son of the Sun and Moon Emperor, so his status is very high. The crowd gathered around to watch the commotion. They didn't just want to watch the commotion, but also wanted to wait and see if they could catch the culprit. They were a little worried. This place didn't feel safe anymore. Should they just leave? But if they left, on the way, they would be even more worried that something bad would happen. It would be fine if there were more people, but what if there were fewer people? Also, Zhang Heng was dead. If they left, would it make people feel guilty? At this moment, Su Yu looked around. He shouted, "Sun, moon, mountains, and seas, I don't care. I just came, and I didn't find anything. Just don't think about me. At least I have a teacher at the 7th level of the Sun and Moon, and a cheap grandpa at the 9th level of the Sun and Moon. I have a mountain and sea divine talisman, a protective divine talisman. If the Sun and Moon can't kill me in one go, then you guys are finished." As he spoke, he took out a divine talisman with a powerful aura. He shouted, "I have no interest in interfering in your affairs. I just arrived today and haven't enjoyed my life yet. I won't stay in Nanyuan anymore. I'll leave tomorrow. If the murderer hears about this, there's no need to ruin your plan for me, right?" The people around looked at him strangely, but they didn't say anything. This might be a good way to solve the problem. With a certain degree of deterrence, killing Cui Lang might not be worth it. It might not succeed, and there might not be a good outcome. However, someone laughed and said, "Brother Cui, that cheap grandpa of yours at the 9th level of the Sun and Moon has been getting close to you. You've been hiding for a few years, and now you admit it." Su Yu said unhappily, "Stop picking on me. Who cares if I admit it or not? If there's danger, you admit it faster than I do, and you have the nerve to blame me. Besides, I can find someone at the 9th level of the Sun and Moon as my backer. Can you find him? If you're jealous, just say it." He was speechless. There was nothing wrong with these words, and even if he wanted to find it, he might not be able to find it. A young expert from the Tang Palace could not help but say, "If Director Ching finds out that you made him up like this, be careful that he comes out of seclusion and smacks you to death." Su Yu curled his lips and could not be bothered to pay attention to him, so he warned him. He laughed and said, "That's it. If it doesn't work out, I'll leave tomorrow. I'm just passing by, so don't drag me into it. I'm planning to go to the Great Xia Palace to have some fun and see the beauties of the 10,000 clans." No one paid him any attention. Very quickly, a mountain and sea realm expert broke through the air and said in a deep voice, "You guys be careful. The murderer is traceless. The Great Xia Manor, is not responsible for your safety. No matter who dies, it's your own business. With that, the mountain and sea quickly disappeared. Su Yu did not stay any longer and kicked Huang He. He said in a low voice, "Let's go. The two of us stay together. As for the others, I don't know what the situation is. Only when we're together can we trust each other. If you bring your brother along, you keep an eye on him. I won't be at ease staying with strangers." The hidden meaning of his words was to tell everyone that he had always been with Huang He and had nothing to do with him. Of course, whether the others cared or not had nothing to do with him. Huang He nodded. He was also afraid. This Nan Yuan suddenly had an assassination case. It was better to find an opportunity to escape. It was too dangerous. The Xia family couldn't find him. Either it was intentional, or the murderer was too cunning. There was no way to find him. Sun Yu's son had been killed. If he continued to stay here, something bad might happen. As for Su Yu, he only just found out Zhang Heng's name and identity. He did not care too much about it. As for adding trouble to the Great Xia Mansion, that was the Great Xia Mansion's business. If you let them come here, let them enter my house, and bear the consequences yourself. At this moment, Su Yu was not prepared to reason with anyone. Nan Yuan. If these people didn't leave, he would make this place a nightmare for outsiders sooner or later. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1409. 1409 Chapter 327, After the Matter is Settled, I'll Go, 1. On the night of May 20th, the first descendant of a powerful man who was assassinated appeared in Nanyuan. There were some fluctuations in the hearts of the people. However, after all, only one person died. It did not make everyone completely afraid, fearful, and desperate. That night, Su Yu, Huang He, and the others watched for a while. Not long after, they found a place to stay temporarily. The hotel in Nanyuan was not open to them, so they did not care. At this level, they could stay anywhere they wanted. The three of them found a rooftop and stayed in a place with a wide view. Su Yu casually threw out a martial arts arena. This thing had been sold to him in the past and could be used as a place to live in the wild. With a good view, the arena had activated some protective arrays. If they did not investigate further, they would not be able to find Su Yu and the others. When Huang He saw this thing, he exclaimed, "There are so many good things in Daming Manor. Brother Lang, Daming Manor even sells riding beasts. That thing is actually not bad. If the space is bigger, it would be even more interesting to have one flying in the sky." Su Yu chuckled and said, "Of course it would be interesting. You already know this." Brother Huang, as expected of a fellow Taoist. Huang He was speechless. "What did I say?" "What I said was not what you said. The two of us are talking about different things. Forget it, there's nothing much to talk about with this fellow." They stayed at the top of the tall building. There were people around them who saw it too. It reminded everyone that rather than living in a corner, it was better to live in an open field of vision. This way, when the enemy attacked, the others would discover it faster, the Great Xia Manor would discover it even faster. However, not everyone was willing to do this. It was too eye-catching. The arena that Su Yu and the others had set up was a little eye-catching even from a distance. Although the defensive formation had been activated and no one had probed, if one's line of sight was good, one would still be able to see some of the movements of the people inside. This way, they would be placed under the spotlight. Not everyone was willing to do this. In the arena, Su Yu took out a bed and a coffee table from his storage ring. Very quickly, he finished setting up one of the arenas and cut it into 3 small spaces. He chuckled and said, "Rest for the night. I'll leave tomorrow morning." "Brother Huang, are you guys leaving?" The skinny young man, Lu Li, who was also from the Great Qi residence, could not help but ask, "We're leaving already?" There was nothing to be gained. "Why are you not leaving?" "I don't want to be assassinated." Lu Li said with some hesitation. Zhang Heng might not really be dead. "Do you think he might have entered the ruins by mistake?" When he said this, Su Yu was slightly startled and said, "It can't be." "Why not?" Lu Li raised his chin toward the place where Lu Li was killed. "Look, there are still many people surrounding the area to investigate. Maybe they think so too, but they just don't say anything. Maybe some people also suspect that Lu Li accidentally entered the ruins." At this moment, Huang He also hurriedly said, "Don't say it, it's really possible. As for the storage ring, maybe it was expelled from the ruins. If it was still alive, it would be best if the sun and moon, or even invincible, could investigate it." The prerequisite was that they needed some of Zhang Heng's blood, or his relative's blood, to investigate the origin. The strong still had such means. However, Zhang Heng was the only son of a sun and moon realm warrior. That sun and moon might not know about this yet. Su Yu shrugged and said, "You can think whatever you want. I feel that there's nothing to stay in this damn place. There's nothing here. It's boring. Why don't we wait and see?" "As you wish." Su Yu tidied up briefly and said, "There's probably nothing to do tonight. Everyone has been awakened by the shock. Do what you need to do. I'm going to start cultivating. You guys cultivate what you're doing. Don't disturb me." Of course. The two of them were speechless. No matter how talented they were, they still had to cultivate. The more talented one was, the more diligent one was. This was also reasonable. A prodigal like Chui Lang would go out and have fun in his free time. However, once he was done, he would still have to train hard. If he didn't train hard, he wouldn't have the strength he had now. The three of them didn't say anything else. From time to time, they would glance down and see things clearly. From the outside, unless they used their willpower to probe in and break through the defensive formation, they wouldn't be able to see things clearly. As for Su Yu, he sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate. The induction jade had been open the entire time. There were still people in the surroundings who were investigating them. Of course, it wasn't obvious. It was unknown which mountain and sea had been staring in their direction. Su Yu guessed that it might be the mountain and sea of the Great Xia Manor, which was currently scouting the area. After waiting for a long time, the induction jade showed that there were no experts within 1,000 meters who were spying on him. At this moment, the sky was also beginning to brighten. When Su Yu had investigated the place where Zhang Heng had died, many people had used their willpower to protect themselves. However, little Hairy Ball had smelled a few people, and they had all gone to his house. Those who could go to his house openly were all of high status. Through some people's exchanges, Su Yu could recognize a few people. Some were from the Shanhai family, and some were from the Sun Moon family. Amongst them, there were some who had been there personally. Su Yu could not deal with those people. In the arena, Su Yu's body gradually became illusory. Next to him were two Sky Realm cultivators. This time, Su Yu did not use illusions, but instead used the flesh regeneration technique. A drop of blood silently slid down, and some Heaven Yuan Qi was continuously absorbed by the blood. In the arena, the Yuan Qi was slightly denser. Huang He and company did not mind. At that moment, Su Yu was using Yuan Qi liquid to cultivate. They were also using Yuan Qi liquid to cultivate. To them, the concentration of Southern Yuan Qi was too low. Without Yuan Qi liquid, it was almost impossible to cultivate. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1410. 1410 Chapter 327 was done. 2. Gradually, the overflowing Yuan Qi formed a layer of mist in the arena. Su Yu's figure gradually began to overlap and become illusory. A moment later, a drop of water seeped out of the arena. The extremely daring Su Yu, under the watchful eyes of everyone, once again took a risk and used the flesh and blood regeneration to create a physical body to replace himself. He once again left his original spot. Huang He and Lu Li knew nothing. The three of them continued to cultivate. In this place, on the top floor, they could still see some powerful experts around. The two of them were quite at ease. Furthermore, Su Yu's arena was protected by a defensive formation. It wasn't too strong, but it would still be able to defend against Ling Yun's attack. Under such circumstances, even if the mountains and seas attacked, it would still need to be instantly shattered. From the sewer pipe on the top floor, Su Yu turned into water again. He sneaked all the way and quickly left the place. Following the route he had just observed, he quickly used earth and water escape from the underground. A moment later, Su Yu arrived at a small courtyard that was somewhat messy. He did not know if it was an abandoned house or if the owner had not returned for many years. The house was a little shabby, but there were people inside at the moment. 2 people. One was at the 3rd level of the Soaring Heavens realm, and the other was at the 9th level of Ling Yun realm. Those at the 9th level of Ling Yun realm were either Dao protectors or relatives. In the house, the 2 of them were also talking. "Third Grandpa, is Zhanheng dead or has he entered the ruins?" The young man in the house asked with some doubt and confusion. He was also looking forward to it. If he entered the ruins, that meant that everyone had a chance to enter. In the room, the old man wasn't too sure either. It's still too early to say for sure. The guardian of the Zhang clan might not be 100% sure either, but no matter what, we still have to be careful. Understood. The young man smiled. Everyone is on high alert. Furthermore, third grandfather is here. Even if it's the sun and moon, if we were to make a move, we would be noticed. It's not a big mistake to be careful. Moreover, if we really encounter an expert with strong stealth ability, even I might not have any chance to resist. Yes, I got it. The young man replied and quickly said, "Third Grandpa, do you think that Su Yu's remains are in southern Yuan? Also, when we went to his house previously, I think we have a breakthrough." "You mean that Chen Hao?" the old man asked, and the young man nodded. "We found a lot of things left behind by Chen Hao in Su Yu's house. Books, and even pictures of the two of them together. Chen Hao's clothes show that this Chen Hao and Su Yu have a deep relationship." In the dark, Su Yu was slightly startled. Was there? He didn't care too much. That fellow, Haozi, had lived in his house for a period of time and cultivated with him. Su Yu really didn't care whether that fellow had left anything at his house. As for books and the like, that should be there. That fellow had brought books to his house to read before, but he might not have taken them with him later. Of course, that fellow might have done it on purpose, then said that he had lost his books and didn't need to read anymore. This wasn't the first time this fellow had done such a thing. Ever since he was young, he and Chen Hao had been on very good terms. It was very normal that they had taken photos before. Su Yu didn't think too much about it before. All these things were at home, so he didn't really care much about them. He didn't even think about taking all the things at home with him. If he really wanted to take them with him, he would have taken the photo with his father a long time ago. This fellow actually found this. Did he mean to look for Haozi? "Third Grandpa, do you think Chen Hao knows about this situation?" Su Yu asked. I also secretly asked around. This Chen Hao used to be an ordinary person, and it was hard to say whether he would be able to enter an advanced academy or not. But now, I heard that he's making rapid progress in the Dragon Martial Academy, and he's already reached the 10,000 stone realm. The old man hesitated for a moment before saying, "The students of the Dragon Martial Academy aren't easy to deal with. Of course, he's not going to the Dragon Martial Academy. It's going to be a holiday soon. Chen Hao should be back, right?" Or rather, halfway there, he shouldn't wait for him to enter the city. Be careful with your words. The old man looked around vigilantly and quickly said, don't talk nonsense. We can ask around. As for the rest, we're in the great Xia mansion after all. I understand. I'm just saying. We might not be the only ones who found out that Chen Hao and Su Yu have a close relationship. Although we went there earlier, the first guy who sneaked in might have also found out. Su Yu, who was hiding in the dark, was once again shocked. He had made a mistake. He had actually made a lot of preparations, including distancing himself from Haozi after going to the great Xia mansion and giving Chen Hao some resources. He had also done so through Xia Huyo, not by directly communicating with Chen Hao himself. However, he had not considered that after Nan Yuan became the focus of attention, he had a good relationship with Chen Hao, so it would be difficult to hide this matter. In addition, his family had discovered some of Chen Hao's things. Was it difficult to deal with 1,000 stone? What did Chen Hao have? Nothing. Just a father who had just entered the 10,000 stone realm. Yes, Chen Hao's father had just entered the 10,000 stone realm. To Nan Yuan, he wasn't considered weak, but to these people, what was this? It was nothing. A family of a 10,000 stone martial artist, how could this be called a family? On Chen Hao's body, the most troublesome identity was the Long Wu student, nothing else. Su Yu quietly hid. At this moment, the sky was already showing signs of brightening. 9th level of Lingyun realm. Very strong. But since he had his eyes on this person, Su Yu naturally had some confidence. This person was not a civilized master, but a fighter. A fighter's willpower was not considered strong. Crush the opponent's willpower with one blow, and in a moment of dizziness, you have the confidence to kill him. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1411. 1411 Chapter 327, I'll go after I'm done, 3. Of course, the commotion might not be small. As for the flying triple Dan, it was nothing. Su Yu just casually killed him. Haozi. Su Yu silently prayed in his heart. I can't let him come back. That guy is staying in Dragon Martial Academy obediently. He didn't have many friends. Haozi was the easiest to deal with. He didn't have a family background, didn't have much talent, and didn't have any strength. He just had to have a relationship with Su Yu. He would be in trouble. I made a mistake. If he had known earlier, he would have emptied everything in the house. However, when he left, he never thought that he would never come back. He still wanted to come back. He still wanted to keep the house as it was. When his father came back, he would come back. Perhaps, he would have some unrealistic fantasies. At that time, he might be able to see his father wearing an apron at home and cook a meal for him. But now, all of this had been shattered. His beautiful fantasies had all become fantasies. The warmth that he did not want to destroy had left some hidden dangers for Chen Hao. The two people in front of him had their eyes on Chen Hao. Was there anyone else? There might be. At the very least, there was someone who had entered before them. Third Grandpa. It's already dawn. You should rest for a while. I'm going to do my morning lessons too. The old man nodded in gratification. This child was worth teaching. No matter how busy or chaotic it was, there was bound to be cultivation. The strong would always be strong. If one did not constantly improve and cultivate, how could one continue to grow stronger? Then go cultivate. The southern Yuan Qi is weak. Use the Yuan Qi liquid. Yes, I understand. The young man turned around and was about to leave. But at that moment, the old man's brows furrowed tightly. He had a vague feeling that something was amiss. Su Yu had brought the Silence Divine text to its greatest use. Calm my heart. No problem. A hammer was above the old man's head. Under the cover of the divine text, the hammer suddenly struck. Only when the hammer struck did the old man feel a clear sense of danger. It was a very strong sense of danger. He was not a civilized master but a warrior. At that moment, his yuan qi instantly exploded. But at that moment, the small hammer had already landed. Boom! The silent explosion shook the old man's sea of consciousness. His sea of consciousness was not strong, so he was instantly stunned. In the hammer, the small hairy ball instantly entered his sea of consciousness. With a poochie sound, it pierced through his sea of consciousness. The old man's eyes were filled with shock before turning into confusion. Following that, it turned into dead silence. However, his physical body continued to erupt with yuan qi according to inertia. The yuan qi explosion was intense. Su Yu did not bother with him, and before the young man could react, his shadow suddenly burst out and shattered his heart. In the next moment, the little furball directly shattered his sea of will. The old man was not completely dead, but his sea of will was completely shattered. His physical body was actually still alive. If he met an invincible almighty, he might be able to recover his sea of consciousness. But Su Yu wouldn't give him this chance. If he didn't kill the old man, once his sea of consciousness was recovered, it would be easy to expose some things, such as the hammer that shook his sea of consciousness, or the little hairy ball that pierced through his sea of consciousness. At the instant he killed the young man, Su Yu burst out. His young aperture slightly opened, and power burst out, blasting out with a single strike. Boom! An all-out attack. At this moment, Su Yu, whose body had been forged 8 times, had added the strength character and opened his young aperture. At this instant, the strength that erupted exceeded the strength of 5,000 apertures. With a bang, the old man's body was blasted apart. Yuan qi began to explode, sweeping in all directions. And at this moment, Su Yu also sensed that an expert was rapidly flying over. He didn't waste any time. The flames disappeared in a flash, obliterating everything. He quickly disappeared from the spot. He killed a 9th-level Lingyun cultivator. Even though it was a sneak attack and a fighter, at this moment, Su Yu was still excited. He was no longer a small fry who had to swallow his pride and swallow his pride. He had enough strength to settle some things. Of course, if he encountered a civilized master, his small hammer's effect would be weakened. There was a high chance that he wouldn't be able to ambush and kill a level 9 Lingyun civilized master. That was fine. Now that he could kill a fighter and a civilized master, it was only a matter of time. He didn't regret killing people. He only regretted that he hadn't thought things through. He might have dragged his friend down with him. That fellow Housie, he had to quickly inform him not to return to South Origin. Yes, it was almost time for the holidays. It was already the end of May. Housie might return to South Origin soon. The instant Su Yu escaped, a Sun-Moon Realm expert rushed over. The sun and moon of the great Xia mansion. Divine light flickered in his eyes. The sun and moon rotated, and his qi and blood exploded, covering the entire area. At this moment, there were some light shadows in the eyes of the sun and moon. Pfft! He saw a hand that shattered the old man's body one by one. Very quickly, everything disappeared, and the old man's body was shattered. This sun and moon expert frowned. His explosive power was very strong. He killed a 9th-level Lingyun with one strike. This 9th-level Lingyun wasn't considered too weak. The strength of a warrior was close to the strength of 10,000 apertures. Yes, close to the strength of 10,000 apertures. Weak fighters wouldn't appear in some big families. But at this moment, his body was still shattered by a single strike. The Sun-Moon Realm commander didn't see too much, but he vaguely felt that something was wrong. Ling Yun, who was killed, seemed to be a little off. He might have been injured previously. Civilized master. He must be a civilized master. His willpower suffered a heavy blow, causing him to feel dizzy and dazed. After that, he shattered his body with a single strike. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1412. 1412 Chapter 327, FYI, 4. At this moment, the others had also rushed over. Willpower or Yuan Qi swept in all directions. Someone hurriedly asked, "Sir, what happened?" "Sir." Silence. The Sun and Moon Realm commander shouted in a low voice and ignored them. He grabbed at any moment and caught some remnants of a scorching aura. He muttered, "Divine flame text, the other party has a divine flame text." After saying that, he said coldly, "It was done by a civilized master. His strength was around the mountains and seas, not the Sun and Moon Realm. His willpower was very strong and instantly shattered Wang Chen's willpower. His physical body should not be too strong. It might be a Lingyun realm physical body. At most, it would be on par with Wang Chen's physical body. Perhaps it might be a little weaker. Of course, I'm not sure if it's his full strength. The willpower of a mountain and sea realm was a Lingyun realm physical body. Of course, Su Yu's willpower wasn't that strong. However, this Sun-Moon commander's judgment was based on Wang Chen's willpower being instantly destroyed. If it wasn't a mountain-sea realm willpower, it would be hard to hide it from Wang Chen. Warriors could also use their Yuan Qi to break out and defend against the invasion of willpower. Wang Chen didn't break out his Yuan Qi until the moment of his death. This meant that the other party had hidden from Wang Chen and avoided Wang Chen's sense of danger. That could have been done by a mountain-sea realm. As the Sun-Moon commander spoke, his willpower swept across the area. He sent a telepathic message to everyone. "All of you, don't move recklessly. Nan Yuan has already lost control. Everyone, it's best if you all stay where you are." The commander's expression was gloomy. He had come very quickly, but the other party had escaped even faster. However, this time, the other party had also left behind many messages. Civilized master, mountain sea willpower, Ling Yun's physical body, divine flame text, and possibly a divine earth escape text. At the thought of this, his expression changed slightly. Mountain and sea's willpower. Mountain and sea's willpower. Killing Wang Chen, killing Zhang Heng. He wasn't the only one. At this moment, someone said in a low voice, "That assassin is here." "Which assassin?" "Killing the heaven ascending to the sea, killing the great Tang mansion, killing the great Shang mansion's mountain and sea assassin." It was him. It had to be him. Otherwise, who would dare to assassinate a 9th-level Lingyun under the eyes of a sun and moon? That guy came. Crazy. Did that guy come to the Great Xia Mansion? According to their itinerary, the Great Shang Mansion was not far from the Great Xia Mansion. The other party had killed a mountain and sea expert from the Great Shang Mansion 2 days ago. Therefore, it seemed reasonable for him to come to Nan Yuan now. They could make it on time. That guy came here. At this moment, everyone was terrified. An existence that could assassinate a mountain and sea expert. No, an existence that had killed mountains and seas. Many people were looking for him, but they didn't find him. "Who is that guy?" someone said in a low voice. In fact, many people had a vague guess, but they didn't dare to say it. "Who?" Chen Yong. Previously, when the six-winged god sect killed Chen Yong, they passed by a few places and killed a few experts. Later, as the six-winged god sect members were killed and the sun and moon escaped, there were still people who were assassinated. Chen Yong's suspicion had actually increased. Now, Nan Yuan killed Wang Chen and the others. Why did he kill Wang Chen and the others? Nan Yuan was also involved with Chen Yong. Su Yu. Some people felt fear in their hearts. Not everyone could guess it. However, some people could guess that it might be Qin Yong based on some clues. However, did Qin Yong have the strength to do so? Then, did this mean that Qin Yong had come to Nanyuan? The Sun Moon commander did not say anything and ignored him. At this moment, he was still searching around, but he was slightly dazed. Who was it? Was it really Qin Yong? Why did it have to be like this? He knew Qin Yong. With this thought in mind, he took out a voice transmission talisman. This time, he directly sent a voice transmission to Lord Xiaoho. Lord Xiaoho, an assassin, appeared in the southern Yuan and assassinated Wang Qin, Zhang Heng, and the others. It is suspected that, the person who assassinated the generals in the other places. Great Xia Manor. Marquis Xia was slightly stunned. Assassination? He turned his head to look in the direction of Nanyuan and frowned. His eyes were a little gloomy. Was it Qin Yong? Such an unscrupulous assassination, something would happen sooner or later. Just as he was thinking, he received another message. Marquis, a mountain and sea person from the Great Wu Manor, was assassinated. When this message came, Marquis Xia was stunned. What did it mean? Was someone trying to fish in troubled waters? He had also guessed that it was Qin Yong, but now. The Great Wu Manor and the Great Xia Manor were quite far apart. No matter how powerful Qin Yong was, could he kill someone in the southern Yuan in an instant and then go to the Great Wu Manor to kill? Marquis Xia frowned. The matter was becoming more and more complicated. Was someone trying to stir up trouble in the dark? But, who would do such a thing? Killing people in the southern Yuan, was there any meaning? What did the southern Yuan have? There might be ruins, but with the Xia family around, even if you killed everyone, what could you do? Lord Xiaoho was in a bit of a mess. He sent a telepathic message to the sun and moon of the southern Yuan and said, "It's not the same person. Just now, a mountain and sea from the Great Wu Manor was assassinated. Investigate, investigate well. Right, these people were killed, and you didn't find anything. The murderer should still be in the city. The formation I set up didn't show any signs of being destroyed. Therefore, the murderer must still be in the city." Then what did Zhang Heng and the others find? Do they have anything in common? Or any other clues? Something in common. At this moment, the Sun and Moon Realm expert thought for a long time. He sent a telepathic message: if we want to talk about something in common, they are naturally here to search for the ruins. Also, it seems like they are gone, or they really found something that we didn't find. They seem to have gone to Su Yu's house. I don't know if they found anything. In the city lord's mansion. Lord Xiaoho knocked on the table. They were all here to search for the ruins. They had all gone to Su Yu's house. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1413. 1413 Chapter 327. After the matter was settled, Fui went, 5. His eyes flickered for a while. They had all been to Su Yu's house. After a long while, Lord Xia sighed and said telepathically, "There's no need to investigate. Take some people and evacuate the southern Yuan. Tell everyone that the Xia family doesn't care anymore. Other than not touching the southern Yuan people, the rest is up to them. Let go of the blockade. Lord Xiaoho. Do as I say." Lord Xiaoho said this and didn't say anything else. Leaning back on his chair, Lord Xiaoho sneered. Who did it? Was it someone sent by Su Yu? He didn't know and only had some guesses. However. So what if he died? What does it have to do with me? Since you all insist on looking for the ruins, then you can do it. In Nanyuan City. The Sun Moon Realm commander frowned. Leave it? Was this appropriate? Despite his hesitation, the commander still looked around. He said coldly, I have already asked the Marquis. What the Marquis means is that since everyone wants to come, the Xia family does not have the obligation to protect you. Since we cannot find it, the great Xia family will not waste too much effort to find it. Everyone, pray for your own good fortune. As he finished speaking, he soared into the air and disappeared before everyone's eyes. His voice sounded out, Dragon Martial Guards, evacuate the southern plains. Do not harm anyone in the southern plains. If you damage anything, just pay 100 times the amount. As for the rest, feel free. As he finished speaking, he had already completely disappeared. Within the city, some of the Dragon Martial Guards quickly began to evacuate. Once this was done, everyone looked at each other in dismay. The Xia family didn't care anymore. Damn it! A 9th-level Lingyun realm cultivator had just been killed, and the Xia family actually didn't care about these matters anymore. If the Xia family didn't care, what would they do? What exactly did that person want to do? On the rooftop, Suyu walked out of the arena and said with a frown, the Xia family is going to retreat? This is irresponsible. If they were to retreat, it would be too dangerous for us. The sky is already bright, and I'm going to leave. Are you guys going to leave or not? Huang He also had a look of shock as he said, damn, the Xia family actually didn't care. They killed someone on the Xia family's territory. Suyu said unhappily, they didn't kill anyone from the Xia family or the great Xia mansion. Do you think the Xia family would be happy if we came to look for the ruins? It's already a good thing that the Xia family didn't do anything. Now that someone else is helping them to vent their anger, if I were a member of the Xia family, I wouldn't do anything either. If I stay here for you guys, who knows how many people will die. The moment these words left his mouth, Huang He felt helpless. He nodded and said, that's true. If the Xia family doesn't make a move, it's already giving them face. If someone else comes to kill them, they probably won't care. We have to leave. This is too terrifying. This is a 9th-level Lingyun, and he died just like that. The weakest of the other party is already at the Mountain Sea realm. It might really be the Sun and Moon realm. No wonder the Xia family couldn't be bothered to go against someone just for us. This is clearly telling the person who killed them that you can kill them, but we won't care anymore. Huang He was depressed, so he decided to run. If he stayed, who knew who would die next? The little Nan Yuan had a guy who could kill a 9th-level Lingyun in an instant. It was too dangerous. Suyu also put away the arena. Looking at the guys who were running around, he shouted, is there anyone who wants to go with us to the Great Xia Mansion? The capital city. The road isn't very safe, and I'm afraid of death. Is there anyone who has a brother who is guarding the Dao in the mountains and seas who wants to go with us? Those who are willing to go with me, I'll give them to you. They're at the mystic rank. Suyu shouted again, the mystic rank is very valuable. As soon as these words were said, some of the people who were panicking before suddenly asked, Brother Cui, the mystic rank, did you forge them yourself? Everyone had mystic rank soldiers, so it was nothing. However, Cui Lang suddenly said that he would give them to them. He was a weapon forging master, and there were many people who knew this. Suyu smiled, of course. Don't tell me I have to buy it. When he said this, many mountains and seas looked at him. Black rank weapon forger. Yes, there was no earth rank weapon forger, but in the entire Great Xia Manor, there was only one earth rank weapon forger. Black rank, in the weapon forger field, it was also a mainstay. Some mountains and seas said in surprise, Cui Lang, you really advanced to black rank weapon forger? Of course. Suyu did not stand on ceremony. The status of a mystic rank weapon forging master was not low. At this moment, rolling his eyes, he said, why would I lie to you? Is there any Shanhai Gao Chong who is willing to escort us on our journey? I will escort a mystic rank weapon forging master. Of course, a mystic rank low-grade weapon forging master can't forge anything else. A mystic rank weapon forging master was not a big deal. Shanhai directly said, "It's no problem to escort you over. How about you come over to our house and become our guest elder for a few years?" Suyu said unhappily, "What are you thinking about? Guest? Daming Manor asked me to stay and become an intermediate researcher. I didn't even agree. You guys are dreaming. If you don't want to do it, then forget it. I'm leaving anyway. You guys can stay if you want to. This damn place is getting more and more dangerous. The Xia family has escaped. Those under the mountains and seas, be careful. You'll be killed in an instant. It's too late to ask for help." Some people felt a little regretful. A mystic rank weapon forging master. This guy was indeed worthy of being a prodigal who could seduce the Sun Moon 9th level granddaughter. He had the capital. When the Tang Mansion knew that this kid had advanced to a mystic rank weapon forging master, there was a high probability that they would not object anymore. This kid was so young. There was hope for him to reach the Earth rank. When he really reached the Earth rank, the Tang Mansion's situation was similar to that of the Great Xia Mansion. There was only one Earth rank weapon forging master. When Cui Lang went there, he would also be a master-level figure. The status of an Earth rank weapon forging master was definitely not lower than the Sun Moon. Suyu said again, "Is there anyone? Is there no one who wants to go to the Xia Mansion to watch the show? Isn't Elder Honggu going to open a multi-god literature academy? Aren't the students of the myriad races coming? Everyone, aren't you going to watch the show? Come with us. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories." Chapter 1414. 1414 Chapter 327 was over. 6. Do you really hope to find the ruins here? If it was really that easy to find, we would have been invincible long ago. How could it be your turn? Suyu shouted, "I'm leaving. It's too dangerous." Is anyone leaving? After he said a few words, someone thought for a while and smiled, "Brother Cui, let's go together." Suyu looked in that direction and said with a smile, "So it's Brother Zhou. Then there's no problem. The students of the sacred land will be escorted by the mountain and sea sacred land. Ha ha ha, we're safe now. Thank you very much." Suyu stepped into the air, and Huang He and the other two hurriedly followed. Very soon, Suyu landed in front of Zhou Hongba and said with a smile, "Brother Zhou, you're a good man. Then I'll have to trouble you. If you need it, I can custom make a civil weapon for you. Of course, I think Brother Zhou doesn't lack black-grade civil weapons." Zhou Hongba smiled lightly and said, "Black-grade civil weapons. No one would complain about having too many. Thank you, Brother Cui. Congratulations, Brother Cui. You've advanced to black-grade weapon forging master. It's very impressive. There are less than 50 Earth-grade weapon forging masters at the human realm. If there were more black-grade weapon forging masters, there would be around 1,000 people. Actually, there aren't that many people scattered around the various manors. Brother Cui, at your age, you've advanced to black-grade. Congratulations. The number of people at the mystic rank was about this number. 1,000 people. If spread out, there would only be about 30 people in each manors. In terms of numbers, there were fewer than Shanghai. Suyu laughed, "It's nothing. The great Xia manors have fewer weapon forging masters, but the Daming manors. There are a lot of mystic rank weapon forging masters. Just based on what I know, there are more than 50 of them. They're not worth much. Furthermore, I'm only at the beginner level. In our Daming Civilization Academy, there are 2 people at the Earth rank who are still alive. As for the others, I'm not sure. The strength of the Great Ming Mansion's weapon forging department is indeed astonishing. Zhou Hongba nodded. Shan Hai, who was standing behind him, did not have any expression towards Su Yu before. At this moment, he smiled faintly and said, "Young friend Shui is indeed extremely talented in this field. If you are willing, I can recommend you to join the Quest Academy and become an intermediate researcher of the Weapon Forging Academy." The lady from Ares College also smiled and said, "If you are willing, I can recommend you to join Ares College's Weapon Forging Department." A mystic rank weapon forging master in his 30s had a bright future. Huang He and Lu Li, who had followed Su Yu here, were both envious. Damn, a talent was a talent. No matter where he went, it was worth it. The pavilion elders of the two holy lands were willing to recommend Chui Lang to join them. They were really proud. However, Su Yu said perfunctorily, "Well, we'll see. Thank you, seniors, but I'm used to being idle. If I'm really willing to work, I might as well go to the Tang mansion to acknowledge my grandfather." They were speechless and a little helpless. As he spoke, Su Yu smiled and said, "Aren't you going to look for them in the southern Yuan anymore? I mean, the others are in danger. You're from the Holy Land, but you might not be in any danger. Do you dare to attack people from the Holy Land? You're courting death." Zhou Hongba shook his head and smiled. "There's no need. Moreover, if we stay, there might really be some danger." He turned his head to look in the direction of Su Yu's family and said softly, "Let's leave as soon as possible. There might be someone who doesn't want us to stay. I wonder if it's him or someone else." They were also thinking about who did it. Su Yu was actually very suspicious. These people came to southern Yuan to look for his remains. Of course, did Su Yu have the ability to order an assassination expert to assassinate someone for him? The Daming Mansion did it. The Daming Mansion was so crazy for Su Yu. They went overseas to kill people. It was fine if they were in the territory, but if they were found out, the Daming Mansion would also be in trouble. As for Chui Lang, he was from Daming Manor, so he couldn't be bothered to say these things. Su Yu smiled and said, "Then I won't say anything. Anyway, I'm leaving. People might even die in this place. The sooner I leave, the better. I don't want to get involved in this mess and ask for trouble." He laughed and looked at the others. "Are you leaving? If you don't leave, I'll find an opportunity to kill all of you." At this moment, many people were actually thinking of backing out. Why not leave? If the Xia family didn't interfere, it would be too dangerous here. Soon, a few more people came over from Su Yu's side. They set off together and went to the Great Xia Prefecture capital to take a look. There were too few experts on Nanyuan's side, and the Great Xia Prefecture didn't care about them. When they reached the Great Xia Prefecture capital, how could the Great Xia Prefecture not interfere? Furthermore, there were quite a few suns and moons outside the prefecture capital. It was much safer than here. Soon, 17 or 18 geniuses and Tao protectors gathered here. They left together. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1415 1415 Chapter 328 Sinners, 1. Killing intent appeared in Nanyuan. Great Wu residence. Chen Yong and Feng Qi had just joined hands to kill a mountain and sea warrior and were currently being hunted down. Feng Qi vomited blood non-stop. Chen Yong dragged him and quickly escaped. However, there was a thick smile on his face, and he seemed a little crazy. Feng Qi, he won't die, right? I think so. Feng Qi coughed up blood. Chen Yong burned the blood and said with a smile, "We might have been exposed, but we might not be able to escape. That fellow is really patient. Even if we kill all these people, he might not make a move." Feng Qi had a smile on his face. His face was pale and he did not say anything. "Show yourself and return to the Great Xia Mansion." "What about you?" "Me? Chen Yong smiled. Someone has to take responsibility. Someone has to take responsibility for everything. Old Feng, I probably won't be able to return. Chen Yong smiled. From the moment I left the Grand Xia Manor, I thought that I won't be able to return. If I go back, I'll be monitored, suppressed, and suspected. Everyone is watching me. Sooner or later, they will discover something. Every word and action will be under their surveillance. He wasn't going back. When the six-winged divine sect stopped pursuing him, he should have let go and not continue. But he chose to continue. When he made such a choice, he actually couldn't go back. Now, there were definitely not one or two people who suspected him, but many. Behind him, the pursuing expert shouted, "Is that Chen Yongfeng Qi up ahead? Why aren't you stopping? If we surrender, we still have a chance of survival." At this moment, those people were shouting. Was it Chen Yong? They weren't too sure either. However, Chen Yong and Feng Qi were the most suspicious. If they had stopped and reappeared at the moment the six-winged divine sect escaped, it wouldn't be too suspicious, but at this moment, it was them. Chen Yong bared his teeth and smiled brightly. See? I couldn't hold it in anymore. After holding it in for so many years, I couldn't hold it in anymore. His killing intent had been activated. After the six-winged divine sect was forced to retreat, he was unwilling to let go and continue to kill. In fact, it was destined that this day would come sooner or later. Feng Qi didn't say anything. Chen Yong smiled and said, "I'll bear the responsibility alone. Don't say anything. You're too weak. You've implicated me several times. Otherwise, I can kill more easily alone. Go to the Great Xia Manor and find my master. My master will protect you. You. Listen to me." Chen Yong interrupted him. His eyes were bright and bloodshot. "I won't turn back. I don't want to turn back either. Rules are a restriction, a cage. They restrict the righteous, the weak, and the victims. As for me, I don't want to be restricted, nor do I need these rules to protect me. Life and death are determined by fate. The moment I walked out of the Great Xia Mansion, I let go of everything. I will continue to avenge my old brothers. I will also avenge Jia's parents. In order to save me, Brother Wu and his wife died without a complete corpse. The two beasts of the six-winged god sect are still alive. When I go back, my every move is under surveillance. Once I find evidence, I won't be able to resist even if you want to kill me. Instead of waiting for death, I might as well try my best. Take care of Jia for me. Me, my master, my junior brother, my senior uncle, and even my grand teacher. They are all chess pieces. They are all just chess pieces." Chen Yong sneered, "It's just that no one would have thought that trash like us would still be able to resist at this point in time. If we continue to grind for a few more decades and give them a few more decades, our essence, QI, and spirit will all be gone. If we are crippled, so be it. The myriad clans will no longer be on guard." His words were a little messy and mixed. Feng Qi, on the other hand, understood. For some reason, he felt a little uncomfortable and a little sad. You guys might be, could it be, the fifth generation as well? There was hope for the fifth generation to succeed. The fifth generation was also a chess piece. Chen Yong chuckled and said, "There are some things that are beyond your imagination. Perhaps those fellows have been scammed by my grandmaster. I haven't found out the specifics yet, so I will continue to stick my nose into it. As long as I don't die. My grandmaster. Who knows? But my master, my martial uncle, they are all chess pieces that attract everything. Those multi-divine literature department people on the surface are all chess pieces. They are all cannon fodder. Feng Qi, this game of chess is very big." He said with some despair, "Big, we are just a bunch of cannon fodder that can be sacrificed. They are righteous, do you know that? They are righteous. We are the villains. I am not willing, I am not willing. They might be doing this for the sake of the human race. Why are they doing this to us? My uncle master and my master might know all of this. They chose to remain silent. I don't want to. I have been silent for too long. Jia Jia's injury and Su Yu's departure are all telling me that I cannot remain silent anymore. Feng Qi still wanted to say something. Chen Yong smiled and said, "Stop talking. Go back and tell everyone that I did everything. You were captured by me. I was the one who captured you. That's why you were forced to be with me. You had no choice but to follow me. Brother Chen. It's a mountain and sea after all. It's good that you're not from the Department of Multiple Divine Arts. Help me take care of Jia Jia. That master of mine is not reliable. Sooner or later, something will happen to him. Sooner or later, my junior brother will be the same. Our lineage is destined to be sacrificed." He bared his teeth and smiled. Jia Jia hasn't joined in yet. Let her stay away from all of this. That kid Su Yu is a little too involved. He might not be able to escape from all of this. It's up to him. Speaking up to this point, his blood essence exploded, and his speed soared. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1416. 1416 Chapter 328 Sinners, Monthly Subscription, 2. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared in front of everyone. Soon, the two of them entered a mountain. Chen Yong put down Feng Qi and said with a smile, "Good brother, help me once and take good care of Jia Jia. I have nothing else to ask for. From today onwards, I, Chen Yong, will no longer be Chen Yong." As soon as he finished speaking, he slapped down with his palm. With a bang, Feng Qi fell to the ground, adding to his injuries. Chen Yong squatted down and said with a smile, "I'm going to tamper with some of your memories. It might be better if you don't remember everything. Remember to take care of Jia Jia for me. That's enough. You've worked hard these past few days and years." Feng Qi had a pleading look on his face. "Can I keep my original memories? Brother, I don't want to live a life where I don't know what I'm doing. Forget it. I don't want Invincible to see through me and deal with you." Chen Yong smiled. He knocked him out with a punch. Chen Yong quickly extracted his blood essence. Feng Qi's body withered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Gradually, drops of blood essence were extracted by him. Chen Yong quickly began to peel off the memory fragments. Sweat dripped from his forehead, drop by drop. After an hour, he injected his blood essence into Feng Qi's body again. Feng Qi's vitality was greatly injured. Chen Yong smiled and helped his wound recover. After waiting silently for a while, he saw that Feng Qi was about to wake up. He smashed a small mountain in the distance with one palm, creating a huge commotion. Feng Qi's eyelids kept trembling. Chen Yong flashed and disappeared from the spot. A moment later, a few mountains and seas and a sun and moon chased after him. They saw Feng Qi lying on the ground. At this moment, Feng Qi opened his eyes and saw a few people, and his eyes revealed confusion. Feng Qi. Feng Qi coughed up blood and looked at them. You are Feng Qi." The Sun and Moon Realm expert was extremely vigilant, and he said in a low voice, "Why are you here?" "Me?" Feng Qi's head hurt, and he seemed to remember something in a daze. He seemed to have forgotten something, and after a long while, he shut his mouth. The Sun Moon Realm expert shouted coldly, "Speak. Why are you here?" Feng Qi didn't say anything. His memories were somewhat chaotic. He only remembered that day when Qin Yong had gone to a certain place with him and suddenly wanted to kill someone. He had stopped him, but Qin Yong had knocked him out with a palm strike. After that, he had been in a daze. Why? No, why did he stop Big Brother Chen? But he remembered that he really did stop him. Big Brother Chen had killed people, killed the general of the Rising Sky Sea. In his days, he saw that Big Brother Chen had killed many people. Brother, help me take care of Jia Jia. As for the rest, do as you please. He only remembered that there was one sentence in his memory. He couldn't remember the other things clearly. He had been sleeping all this time. The few Mountain Sea Realm experts couldn't help but look at the Sun Moon Realm expert. The Sun Moon Realm expert from the Great Wu Palace frowned slightly. The Great Wu Palace had a good relationship with the Great Xia Palace, and Feng Qi came from the Great Xia Palace. At this moment, he also had a headache. Could it really be Feng Qi and Qin Yong? Feng Qi, let me ask you a question. Feng Qi raised his head and gritted his teeth. What? I killed someone. What else do you want me to say? The Sun Moon expert's eyes spun as he looked at Feng Qi and frowned. He admitted it so easily. Where's Qin Yong? How would I know? I haven't seen him for many years. Nonsense. The Sun Moon expert shouted and frowned. This was troublesome. Feng Qi admitted that he had killed someone and Qin Yong disappeared. What was going on? This matter had long since attracted the attention of the experts. It wasn't him, but Invincible. Killing so many mountain and sea generals in a row was a huge matter. He hadn't actually thought that he would be able to catch him this time, but in the end, he had really caught Feng Qi. Feng Qi, you better tell me the truth, or else, this matter has already attracted the attention of Invincible. Even if you don't tell me, Invincible will be able to pry into your heart, search your memories, and trace back to the past. With that, he shouted, capture him and take him away. I will report this to the 2 great saint lands, the great manors, and the 3 great sea regions. This matter did not involve just one prefecture. Feng Qi was also a genius of the human race, the mountain and sea. After the death of the Great Wu King, the strength of the Great Wu Mansion had weakened. Now, they were relying on the Great Xia Mansion. However, the Great Xia Mansion was in chaos now, and this matter was of grave importance. They had no choice but to report this to the 2 great holy lands. Before that, it was best to inform the Great Xia Prefecture. Capturing Feng Qi was actually not a good thing. However, who knew that they would meet Feng Qi here? What the hell? Very quickly, a few mountain and sea experts captured Feng Qi and took him away. That Sun and Moon expert swept his surroundings, frowned, and soon disappeared from his original spot. After an unknown period of time, the Sun Moon expert reappeared. He said in a deep voice, Qin Yong, you abandoned Feng Qi to clear his name. I don't know what you mean, or are you confident that you can hide it from Invincible? Or, is Feng Qi really not making a move? No matter what, I will do as you wish and hand him over to Invincible. The Great Wu Mansion and the Great Xia Mansion have been friends for hundreds of years. I don't want to see something that I don't want to happen. Silence. The Sun Moon expert sighed lightly and disappeared once again. This time, he did not appear again. After a while, in the mountain, a person quickly left through the earth. The Diamond Mountain Ox had the effect of the Diamond Mountain. Water escape, shadow escape, earth escape. Fire escape. At this moment, so you probably had not thought of these things. Shadow escape. Water person, water escape. Diamond Mountain Ox, earth escape. Fire crow, fire escape. White fox, wind escape. As for Swan and I, gold is the main, gold is the kill. What Qin Yong learned, not worse than anyone, not weaker than anyone, many years ago, he was preparing for today. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1417 1417 Chapter 328 Sinners, Monthly Subscription, 3. Amazing talent. Many years ago, he was able to step into the mountains and seas. Many years ago, Hong Tan had wanted to revitalize the many divine languages department. His first disciple, the first disciple to open a mountain, was extremely talented. However, in the past few decades, he was stuck at Ling Yun, very few people remembered. Feng Qi was arrested. He admitted that he was the one who killed him. This news quickly spread throughout the Sun-Moon realm and Invincible realm. The king of Han, who was in charge of the human realm, the king of Silkworm Extermination, who had just returned, and the king of Song, who had specially rushed back, were the first to receive the news. This was a huge matter. He had killed 5 Shanghai generals in a row, 3 of whom were high and mighty. 2 of them were in the middle stage of the mountain and sea realm, and they were the elites of the various manors. The ones who had been arrested were the geniuses of the great Xia manors who had faked their deaths in the past. They had even implicated Chen Yong, a newly promoted elder, the disciple of Sun Yu and the grand disciple of the 5th generation. This matter instantly caused a commotion among the higher-ups. Feng Qi was publicly interrogated. Feng Qi was quickly escorted to the Great Xia Manors by people from the Great Xia Manors. General Zhao, who had chased him all the way, forcefully took Feng Qi away. Along the way, Feng Qi confessed to his crimes. As for how he was killed, he didn't say. He didn't have the strength. As for Chen Yong, he said that he had never seen him before. As for why he fainted in the forest, he said that he was heavily injured. The mountain and sea that he was killed fought back against him, causing him to be heavily injured and faint. The reason for the killing? It was a personal grudge. This news quickly spread among the higher-ups. In Nanyuan, Su Yu was still discussing with the others whether they should leave after eating. The voice transmission talisman in his arms trembled slightly. Su Yu did not sneak around. He directly took out the voice transmission talisman, took a look at it, and smiled. He said, "Everyone, if you want to leave, leave quickly. Quickly go to the Great Xia Manor. My teacher told me to go back and not be so reckless. I don't want to be captured and brought back. This place is not far from the Tiandu Manor." Although he said this, his heart was shaken. The news was from Xia Huyo. Just now, Xia Huyo received a piece of news. Feng Qi had been captured. Feng Qi had admitted that he was the one who had killed those generals. Chen Yong did not know the situation and he was not around. Invincible would soon rush to the Great Xia Manor to interrogate Feng Qi. Marshal Uncle Feng had been captured. What about Chen Yong? Su Yu's heart was shaken, but he had a smile on his face. The one who had assassinated those people was Feng Qi. No, it had to be Chen Yong. Previously, the Great Ming Manor storyteller had said that the general who had been killed in the Great Shang Manor had liked to use civilized teachers as bait in the past. Now that he thought about it, it must be the same as what Su Yu had thought. He must have used the multi-god literature department's divine literature teacher as bait. It must have been Chen Yong who had killed them. What was Uncle Master doing? Without sufficient evidence, killing those mountain and sea generals would be a big problem. They were people from the military, and they would die. As for Su Yu, he had also killed someone. But Su Yu knew what he was doing. If something really happened, as long as he ran back to the Great Ming Mansion, nothing would happen. He would only kill some sun and moon descendants. As for killing them, you broke into my house and stole my secrets. If I kill you, then I will kill you. Let's see who has the stronger backing. If Daming Prefecture did not hand them over, the sun and moon would not be able to do anything about it. It would not implicate those invincible people. However, If the people from the military were to rashly kill them, especially the generals, they would definitely die. Killing people in Nanyuan was a competition of who had the stronger backing. Killing those people would be useless even if they had the stronger backing. Su Yu was shocked. Did Uncle Master kill them to take revenge? Revenge for the polytheistic literature department? But did Uncle Master have such a deep relationship with the polytheistic literature department in other places? Or was there another reason that he didn't know about? What would happen to Uncle Master Feng Qi? Unrivaled public trial. When Unrivaled arrived at the Great Xia Manor, it would be best if he didn't go near it, as it would be easy for his identity to be discovered. But, could he not go? Even if he was discovered, he still wanted to go and take a look and listen. He did not know if he had the chance to go and take a look and listen, but he wanted to go. At this moment, killing some people did not matter. There were plenty of chances to kill these guys. Su Yu hurriedly urged everyone to go. At the same time. Great Xia Mansion, Great Xia Civilization Academy. Sitting opposite Hong Tan was Lord Xia Ho. At this moment, Lord Xia Ho was also very helpless. He sighed and said, Feng Qi has been captured, but there's a high probability that he's fine. Since he's been left behind, he probably won't be able to find anything even if he's invincible. He might be able to help him get away with his crimes, but, on Chen Yong's side, since he didn't choose to come back, that means, he has already made a decision. He still had one more thing he didn't say, and the same thing happened to Nan Yuan. Of course, one of the sun and moon descendants died. After all, descendants were descendants, not the sun and moon, so it was different. As for the other two who died, they were only members of the Shanhai family. If they died, so be it. He suspected that it might have something to do with Su Yu. Of course, he didn't want to say this. At this moment, this was not important. Hong Tan did not say anything. His eyes were a little dazed. He was exactly 70 years old this year, and Lu Wenyan was 2 years older than him. This year, he should be 72 years old. 51 years ago, Lu Wenyan was 21 years old, and he was 19 years old. At that time, he had actually entered the school for just over a year. Later, his master died, and Lu Wenyan also left. After a few years, when he was 33 years old, he took in the 18-year-old Chen Yong as a disciple. It had been a full 37 years since then. Chen Yong was 15 years younger than him, and he was now 55 years old. Many years ago, Chen Yong was about to advance to Shanghai City, and he was regarded as his hope. After being together for 37 years, sometimes he felt that this fellow was even more like a son than his own son. Even though he didn't have a son. Scenes flashed through his mind, and he thought of that fellow's cheerful youth, his gloomy middle age, and his forbearance when he was older. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1418. 1418 Chapter 328 Sinners, Monthly Subscription, 4. Hong Tan was a little absent-minded. After a long while, he suddenly said, Second brother, let me ask you a question. Second brother. How many years had it been since he had heard such a name? Master Xia Ho was also a little absent-minded. When he was young, this kid called him second brother, but he stopped calling him that a few decades ago. You ask. Lord Xia Ho felt a little dry. At this moment, he had a myriad of thoughts. Second brother, tell me. What is your Xia family still persisting on? Hong Tan looked at him and bared his teeth. He smiled and said, I know. Actually, I know. My senior brother knows. Haven't we been abandoned a long time ago? What are you still persisting on for? It's meaningless, isn't it? Lord Xiaoho bitterly laughed dryly. Don't talk nonsense. How could it be? Who would abandon you? Are you hoping? Hope. Hong Tan laughed. No, hope isn't us. Hope is the multi-god text, not us. We are the multi-god text, but the multi-god text isn't just us, is it? Second brother, don't lie to me, okay? Lord Xiaoho's throat became even more dry. No, it's you guys. You are the multi-god text. The multi-god text is also you guys. This is the origin of the multi-god text, and this is where the multi-god text rises. This is the multi-god text, and only with you guys can there be the multi-god text. Hong Tan grinned and said, in the past, my master was also deceived by you guys like this. My senior brother is the same, and so am I. Our department is the same. Second brother, you only know how to deceive people. You can deceive people when you are young. I'm not lying. Hong Tan smiled and grinned. After a while, he said with a smile that looked like he was crying, I've always thought that we can still struggle a little. There's still hope. But, second brother, I still want to ask, can we still be saved? When that day comes, who should we take revenge on? Can we take revenge? Yes, we definitely can. At this moment, Master Xiaoho was also a little choked up. His chubby face was full of smiles. We really can. Trust me, trust us. Little Hong, trust us. Trust us once, okay? Trust us once more. We definitely can. Otherwise, what have we been doing all these years? Once Long Wu succeeds, there will be hope for us. Is there? Yes. Lord Xiaoho nodded solemnly. Long Wu, my father, and a few others, you can get justice. Really? Hong Tan suddenly cried. But my disciple, if he leaves, will he live to see that day? He assassinated many mountain and sea generals, will they let him go? Second brother, you can save him, right? Lord Xiaoho wanted to say yes. But, he couldn't say it. At this moment, Lord Xiaoho felt so aggrieved that he wanted to explode. He gritted his teeth. Chen Yong is a smart person. He probably guessed something. It might not be a bad thing for him to go far away. Su Yu left, Chen Yong left, Lu Wenyan went to the heavens battlefield. Actually, it's all good. Also, we still have a backup plan. It's fine, little Hong, it's fine. Hong Tan looked at him and looked at him again and again. After a long time, he regained his calmness. It was so calm that it was scary. Second brother, I want to kill people. I think I'm going crazy. I'm really going crazy. Kill, definitely kill. Master Xiaoho nodded and laughed. Kill a lot of people, kill a lot of people. But they say they are good people. Hong Tan said absent-mindedly, in this era. We are the damned group of people. We are the bad people. Second brother, do you understand? I understand all of it. Master Xiaoho bared his teeth and laughed, who doesn't understand? They say that they are good people, and they are. Good or bad, it is not up to them to decide. They are all born and raised by their parents. What right do they have, don't you think? He said that you are bad people. Whether you are or not, it's not up to them to decide. But we are weak. Lord Xiaoho said dryly, don't be afraid. Being weak now doesn't mean that you will always be weak. Am I not on your side? Hong Tan laughed, no, you are not. You still have a way out. Second brother, you still have a way out. As for me, I don't have it. My senior brother doesn't have it, my disciple doesn't have it, and my grand disciple doesn't have it either. I will kill people, not now. I will definitely kill someone. Definitely. Yes, definitely. I will help you. Hong Tan smiled, stood up, and turned to leave. Lord Marquis, I have endured for too long for this faction, for this world, for this world. One day, I will live for myself, for my family, for my friends. I will no longer be the Xia clan, the world, or anyone else. Marquis Xia did not speak. He lowered his head and clenched his fists. Hong Tan left. With a smile and a sense of relief, perhaps. I should have done so a long time ago. Little Yong, I thought you could continue enduring. It has been so many years. Why are you the same as that little brat Su Yu? You are too stupid. Why are you in the limelight at this time? You are not young anymore. Hong Tan walked and saw the Heart Cultivation Pavilion. He looked at the top floor and smiled. What are you doing, old man? In the Heart Cultivation Pavilion. Wan Tianxing looked at the ceiling and was slightly distracted. After a long while, he muttered, Yi Batian, you idiot. You died easily and left the mess to me. What can I do? It's fine, it's fine. Maybe. This is the final madness. Chen Yong is crazy, Hong Tan is crazy, Lu Wenyan has long gone crazy. Your disciples and grand-disciples have all gone crazy. It was you who did it. After they die, do you still have the face to see them? Creak, creak, creak. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1419. 1419 Chapter 328 Sinner, 5. The wooden chair creaked and swayed. Wan Tianxing looked at the ceiling and gradually regained his calm. Wait a little longer, let me see a little more clearly, the current me is still not very clear, who should be killed? Maybe. I will also become a sinner. No, I am a sinner. I am, you are, Hong Tan is, Chen Yong is, Xia Xiaoxi is, Xia Longwu is also, we are all sinner. Sinner then sinner it is. A person cannot live a lifetime, cannot leave a lasting legacy, then leave a lasting infamy. The creaking sound of the wooden chair came again, 10,000 heavenly saints closed his eyes. The future, is also only the future. That future scene, that battle, was it me who started it, or who? I am a sinner for all eternity. I am guilty, but I will not atone for my sins. On this day, Su Yu was chatting and laughing merrily as he rushed towards the great Xia mansion with Zhou Hongba and the others. As for Nan Yuan, he did not have the mood to pay attention to him anymore. As for the few people who died, no one cared anymore. Because halfway there, someone had already received the news that Feng Qi had been caught. The murderer of the assassination. No, it could be Chen Yong. Feng Qi had been caught in the Great Wu Mansion. Then, was it Chen Yong who had committed the crime on Nan Yuan's side? As for whether he could assassinate people from both places at the same time, who knew if Chen Yong had any special abilities? This person had hidden himself too deeply. Perhaps, he had a clone. This was very normal. After all, he was a civilized master. Chen Yong could even kill a 7th or 8th level mountain and sea realm cultivator. It was very normal for him to have a clone. The escape art seemed to have left behind traces of the people who had been killed previously. And now that Feng Qi had been captured, there would soon be an invincible public trial. Perhaps they would discover something, and they might be able to use this opportunity to capture Chen Yong, a member of the 10,000 races who had concealed himself extremely deeply. This person was a traitor. On the way, everyone learned of this news. Zhou Hongba smiled and said, in that case, it's very likely that this group of people was also responsible for Nanyuan's matter. Chen Yong, it's still hard to say now. Perhaps he's in cahoots with the Six Wings Divine Sect. This time, I'll try my best to give everyone a chance to listen to Invincible's trial together. If it really is Chen Yong, Sai, the Great Xia Mansion has a branch of divine literature. First, Su Yu escaped, and then Chen Yong defected. A few days ago, Suyu even slandered Governor Zhou, causing chaos in the human realm. This branch is really abnormal. Someone said in a low voice, "You haven't determined who it is yet, right?" Zhou Hongba smiled and said, "I'm just saying. Invincible will naturally find out who the real culprit is." Sigh, there are many divine literature. There are many divine literature experts. However, there are really not many people like the great Xia Manor who keep causing trouble. It was like this in the past, and now it's like this. I don't know when it will end. The great Xia Manor has a branch of divine literature. There are indeed some people who can stir up trouble. These 2 years, it's all news about them. If I were a member of the Xia family, I might be able to expel them. Perhaps it would be much better. Manor head Xia wouldn't be in such a difficult situation now. I wonder what the Xia family is thinking. Some people didn't understand what the Xia family was thinking, and Suyu was also in a daze. So, in everyone's eyes, it was us who had dragged the Xia family down, and not the Xia family who had let us down. The more divine literature department had become a burden in everyone's eyes. No, it wasn't the more divine literature department, it was the more divine literature department in the great Xia Manor. Or rather, it was just a few people. Lu Wenyan, Hong Tan, Chen Yong, including Su Yu. In the eyes of many people, they were troublemakers and the source of trouble. According to their words, the Xia family should have abandoned them, right? And the Xia family didn't abandon them. Wasn't that already benevolent and righteous? Su Yu was slightly distracted. Beside him, Zhou Hongba was riding on a demonic beast. He looked at Su Yu and smiled. "Brother Cui, what are you thinking about?" Su Yu said with a faint smile, "I'm thinking about women." Zhou Hongba could not help but laugh. "Brother Cui, you're really direct." Su Yu laughed and said, "This is called not being hypocritical and not being pretentious. I can say whatever I want. A person has to live for a lifetime, so there's no need to be so tired. The big shots have to worry about the big shots, so let's do what we should do. Open-minded." Someone laughed and said, "Brother Cui's attitude is truly open-minded. We have to learn from Brother Cui. It's also true. The big shots have to settle the big shots matters. No matter how much we say, we're just bystanders. Who knows what the actual situation is like?" Another person laughed and said, "Brother Cui, you know Su Yu. Do you think that if Qin Yong is really the murderer this time, the Daming Mansion will make a move?" Su Yu laughed and said, "As for Su Yu, I may not be willing and want to make a move, but he is too weak. This is an assassination of a general. He will definitely die. Why would the Daming Mansion get involved in this? At most, they would give Su Yu some face. The Daming Mansion would not send people to surround and kill Qin Yong. This was their limit. Could it be that they still expect the Daming Manor to go against the entire human realm for the sake of a person like Qin Yong?" Su Yu smiled and said, "Our Daming Manor does not have such thoughts. We do not care about anything that happens outside of the Daming Manor. This has been the rule for many years." "That's true. Let's see the situation this time. If it's really Qin Yong, then the great Xia Manor, including Elder Hong's side, will probably be in some trouble. Those generals who were killed all have good friends and teachers. I think this time, Qin Yong will most likely be wanted by the entire human realm." Su Yu chuckled and said, "Who cares? The wanted has nothing to do with me, and it has nothing to do with all of you. Can you kill him? What a joke. Don't seek your own death. I'm just here to watch the show. If you guys continue to talk about this, I won't talk to you guys anymore. I'm afraid that I'll be implicated." That's right, that's right. Someone nodded. That made sense. It was too dangerous. What did it have to do with us? It was better not to get involved. Su Yu chuckled. His face was full of sunshine, and he looked extremely relaxed. However, his heart was filled with endless gloom. What would be the result this time? Would there be any movements from Grandmaster's side? Where exactly was Martial Uncle? Why did he receive all kinds of bad news the moment he left the Great Ming Mansion? Why did it feel like this human realm cultivator was targeting us? Were we wrong? Or, were most of the people wrong? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1420. 1420 Chapter 329, The Future One. As he rushed towards the great Xia Manor, Suyu began to cultivate in silence. Casting his body. The heaven Yuan Qi was constantly being secretly absorbed by him. In this world, it was impossible to not have strength. Without strength, there was nothing one could do. But now, the growth of strength was too slow. What he lacked was not resources. Nor was it cultivation techniques. What Suyu lacked was life-and-death crises and life-and-death experiences. He wanted to quickly improve himself and comprehend himself. He wanted to face death and live. He wanted to quickly walk the path that others had taken for 10 years or 100 years. He could become stronger by going into seclusion, but it would take time and a lot of time. He couldn't wait any longer. The Daming Manor could still protect him now, just like the Great Xia Manor in the past. Perhaps they could also protect the many Divine Arts Department, but now, the Great Xia Manor was powerless because of Xiaolong Wu. If one day, Zhu Tiandao was about to attain Dao, would the Daming Manor still have the confidence to protect him? In the end, the world still depended on him. On the galloping cloud horse, Suyu closed his eyes to cultivate. When the others saw him cultivating, they did not disturb him. When Suyu opened his eyes, Zhou Hongba smiled and said, "Brother Cui, you came out this time to gain experience and advance to Lingyun?" He looked at Suyu, and it did not seem like it was purely for the sake of loafing around. There was a hint of experience in it. Suyu smiled and said, "That's right. I've been in the 9th level of the Soaring Heaven Realm for a few years now. Right now, I'm just one step away from Lingyun. It's just that my willpower isn't strong enough. Once my willpower is strong enough, I'll be able to step into Lingyun." After saying that, he laughed and said, "Brother Zhou, you're also one of the top geniuses in the Quest Academy, right? From what I see, Brother Zhou's strength seems to be on par with mine. Your age shouldn't be as old as mine, right?" Zhou Hongba laughed and said, "I'm just average. In the Quest Academy, I'm nothing. It's true that I'm at the 9th level of the Soaring Heaven Realm, but I'm still far from Lingyun." "How old are you, Brother Zhou?" 28. Suyu exclaimed, 28. At this age, with this strength, you would be a top genius in any mansion. Huang Teng, Qin Fang, and the rest are just SOSO, right? Zhou Hongba smiled and did not deny it. On the side, the girl who had not spoken much, Lu Han from Aries College, said lightly, "In the current human realm, if we want to talk about geniuses, it is Su Yu and Shan Xiong. Compared to them, we are still a little inferior." Zhou Hongba smiled and did not say anything. Su Yu, on the other hand, said disapprovingly, "That is because of a great opportunity. If we have a great opportunity, it does not necessarily mean that we are inferior to them." Lu Han didn't say anything and couldn't be bothered to explain. Besides, she didn't know Su Yu. Speaking of this, Su Yu chuckled and said, "Brother Zhou, are you from the Great Zhou Manor?" Zhou Hongba smiled lightly and said, "Sort of." "Sort of?" Brother Cui probably doesn't understand. Under normal circumstances, the invincible family is divided into 2 branches. One branch is in charge of the Great Zhou Manor, and the other branch is stationed in the Sacred Land. I come from the branch of the Sacred Land, the Zhou family. You say that the branch of the Great Zhou Manor is actually somewhat different. Zhou Hongba still explained. Their ancestors were from the same clan, but now, there were still differences. Suyu understood, nodded, and said with a smile, I know this. On my side of the great Ming mansion, the mansion master's eldest prince also went to seek for the development of the exploration realm. Have you seen him, brother Zhou? At the mention of Zhu Guangxin, Zhou Hongba laughed dryly and didn't reply. That fellow, of course he was there. Every day. The people of the Quest State were almost driven mad. That guy was really crazy. He really started farming in front of the Quest State gate with 10,000 strongmen. Do you dare to imagine? No. He had never seen such a ridiculous person. Even the great Han King was speechless. After seeing it once, he didn't say anything. He forcefully moved the entire gate of the Holy Land by 10,000 feet and continued farming. He didn't want to play with him. Beside him, Lu Han also knew about this matter. He chuckled and didn't say much. Zhu Guangxin, Zhu family of Daming Manor. This was an extremely interesting family. Now that they were seeking the exploration realm, they could be considered a tyrant. Even if they were to farm, there was nothing you could say. They already had the right to inherit. The 8 great families had also become the 9 great families. From the looks of it, Zhu Guangxin really had the intention to take root and seek the exploration realm. Seeing that they did not mention Zhu Guangxin, Suyu did not ask any further. After thinking about it, he still had a curious look on his face. To be honest, I have never been to either of the 2 great holy lands. Is the Academy of the Holy Lands powerful? Last time, there were some students from the Holy Lands who came to our Daming Manor, but I did not see anything. I feel that their strength seems to be just as so. Zhou Hongba smiled faintly and said, the Holy Land Academy is still extremely powerful. It has gathered the geniuses from many large families in the human realm. They have sufficient resources, are talented, have a lot of knowledge, and have a lot of cultivation techniques. In addition to the presence of the Tianyuan Holy Land, under normal circumstances, only Ling Yun can be considered to have graduated. I can still be considered a student until now. Suyu sucked in a breath of cold air and said, F***ck, does that mean that if I were in the Holy Land, I would still be a student? That's true. Zhou Hongba smiled and said, however, Brother Chui's weapon forging level has already reached the mystic rank. Actually, there is no need to calculate it based on strength. The status of a mystic rank weapon forging master is equivalent to Ling Yun and Shan Hai. When it reaches the earth rank, it is equivalent to the sun and moon. It is also an invincible guest. What he valued was actually the weapon forging level. As for strength, the 9th level of the soaring heavens realm was really nothing. He was 28 years old and was also at the 9th level of the soaring heavens realm. Ling Yun was almost there. Moreover, the strength of the students of the Holy Land was not something that the students of an ordinary academy could compare to. Then, are there many people in the Holy Land Academy? Suyu's face was filled with curiosity. Just as Zhou Hongba was frowning slightly, Suyu chuckled softly and said, Brother Zhou, are there any women who are talented, strong, good-looking, but don't have a big background? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1421. 1421 Chapter 329, The Future 2. Zhou Hongba's heart was tired. On the other side, Lu Han snorted coldly. Students of the sacred land are either descendants of the sun and moon, or invincible descendants. Even if they are not descendants of the sun and moon, they are still extremely talented, or their elders hold high positions. For example, Wan Tiansheng was nominally a mountain and sea, but he was the manor head, so his descendants could go. For example, Jing Yunhui. His grandfather was the manor head, so Jing Yunhui could also go. Of course, it was very rare for ordinary disciples of the mountain and sea realm to have such an opportunity. Su Yu said disapprovingly, I'm really not afraid of Sun-Moon descendants. There are many Sun-Moon realm descendants, and there are many of them. In terms of status, are they as noble as me? Su Yu sneered, little girl, don't be arrogant with me. To put it bluntly, in front of me, the invincible descendants still have some face. They are also descendants of 3 or 5 generations, descendants of 3 or 5 generations, unless the invincible king values them, otherwise, how can they be compared to me? And they have an attitude of looking down on others, hee. Su Yu's face was full of arrogance. Zhou Hongbao smiled and didn't say anything. Lu Han's face changed, but he didn't say anything either. Around them, some of the geniuses were secretly happy. Some of them were not descendants of the Sun-Moon realm, and they were all very happy. Not bad. What was there to be proud of? Cui Lang was not the descendant of the invincible Sun-Moon realm, but he was the disciple of the Sun-Moon realm, and he was the grandson-in-law of the Sun-Moon realm. In terms of status, he was not afraid of anyone. Su Yu's face was calm, he curled his lips and said, I'm just asking about the situation, and you act like you're so high and mighty. Che. The geniuses of the sacred land have not seen the world, right? The sacred land is nothing. Without the manners, the alliance land of the manners is nothing. Cui Lang. Someone shouted out. It was the Quest Realm Shanghai Pavilion Elder. At this moment, the middle-aged man frowned and said, Cui Lang, some words need to be thought through, don't speak nonsense. Su Yu shrugged his shoulders, I'm sorry, the people of my Great Ming Manor are more casual, and I'm used to it. It's the truth. The sacred land, without the various manners, it's invincible. It's nothing. My Great Ming Manor Lord said that the sacred land is nothing, and the people of the sacred land don't dare to provoke our Great Ming Manor. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about you guys. Brother Zhou, don't misunderstand. In any case, regarding the sacred land, I'm just saying it, and the Great Ming Manor doesn't really care about it. His words made the experts of the sacred land feel a little embarrassed. However, they didn't say anything. In fact, all the big manors had the same attitude. As for the sacred land, since they were giving you face and all of them were in an alliance with Invincible, they would give you some face. Without Invincible, it was another matter whether they would give you face or not. Even if Invincible was in charge, like now, the Great Han Manor couldn't be bothered with the others of the sacred land. After all, the one in charge was my ancestor. Why would they give you face? It was the Great Han King who gave them face. Huang He and the others could only say that the people of the Great Ming Mansion were really reckless. They were not afraid that they would be remembered for saying this in front of the people of the Holy Land. Su Yu chuckled and said, I have a foul mouth. Everyone, please don't mind me. It's just my personality. It's been many years. Everyone, please forgive me. I don't mean to belittle anyone. I understand. Zhou Hongbao regained his smile, Brother Cui, you're indeed straightforward. Just as Brother Cui said, the Holy Land was just a title. It was the same as the other manors. They were all one entity. The original intention of the Holy Land was to allow people to interact with each other and become more familiar with each other. It was indeed the intention of the other manors to move there to integrate with the other manors. In the end, it was obvious that they had failed. The branch that had moved over might not necessarily be on the same side as the branch that had moved over. This was very normal. One was in charge of the main branch while the other was in charge of the Holy Land. It was not uncommon for neither side to be convinced of the other. After chatting for a while, everyone moved very quickly. They were getting closer and closer to the Great Xia's prefecture capital. Along the way, there were no more mishaps. The Cui Lang that Su Yu disguised as was very talkative. He chatted here and there. Not long after, everyone became familiar with him. Even those who were not familiar with him before had become familiar with him now. He did not have any bad habits. It was just that his words were too casual and did not have any ill intentions. However, sometimes, his words were really irritating. According to people who knew Cui Lang well, apart from talking about women and not people, this B***** was always insulting others. However, after he was done, he might not remember who he was insulting. As he walked, Suyu was strengthening his willpower. He wanted to level up his willpower. He wanted to enter level 3 and enter Lingyun. This way, he had a chance to enter level 4. If he could enter level 4 with the godly words "een," change, and silence, he would be able to enter the mountain and see godly words. When his willpower reached level 3, he would be able to open 180 divine apertures in the true Lingyun realm, coupled with some cultivation techniques and innate skills, as well as the divine talisman that old bull gave him. It should not be a problem for him to hide from all the sun and moon, let alone invincible. As for invincible, unless he investigated himself deeply, would he be so free? At this moment, he did not care about continuing to forge his willpower. He only hoped to advance. Originally, the soul-expanding technique could continue to purify his willpower, but Suyu did not have this intention. After entering Lingyun, he would at least hide from the sun and moon, such as Lord Xia and the others. Outlining the divine language and expanding one's sea of willpower weren't urgent matters at the moment. Perhaps, he could use the weapon forging to feed himself. Thinking of this, Suyu began to prepare for his next meeting with Zhao Li. He turned around and talked about the weapon forging. Very quickly, he looked at a genius in the crowd and said, "Zhao Li, other than Master Ma, are there any other powerful weapon forging experts in your great Xia mansion?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1422 1422 Chapter 329, The Future 3. Master Ma was talking about the only Earth-rank weapon forging division. That Zhao Li was a genius from the Great Xia Manor, but he had already graduated. Hearing Suyu ask at this moment, he chuckled and said, "Of course there is. Although the Great Xia Manor only has one Earth-rank weapon forging division, speaking of which, there is also a quasi-Earth-rank one." Suyu said directly, "Are you talking about Master Zhao Li? The son of the 4th generation head of the Great Xia Civilization Academy, the junior brother of the head of the Great Zhou Weapon Forging Academy, Zhao Tianbing? It's Master Zhao Li." Zhao Li laughed and said, "I knew Brother Cui knew about Master Zhao. I said that Master Zhao is quasi-Earth rank. Brother Cui, you don't have any objections, right?" Suyu shrugged and said, "I don't have any objections, but it's a pity. I heard my teacher mention Master Zhao a few times. It's a pity. If I wasn't too ambitious in the past, I would have become an Earth-rank weapon forging division long ago. With my status, I might not be able to visit Master Ma. Tell me, if I visit Master Zhao, can I communicate with him?" Zhao Li smiled and said, "That's hard to say. Master Zhao has a weird temper and has been extremely weird for the past half a year. However, Brother Cui is a genius in the weapon forging department. Let me give you an idea. You say that you know Suyu. Master Zhao and Suyu have some master-disciple relationship. Let's see if we can use this opportunity to exchange some ideas." Suyu pretended to be stunned for a moment and said, "He has a master-disciple relationship with Master Zhao. He knows how to forge weapons. Are you kidding me? I didn't even know about this." Zhao Li smiled and said, "Of course he doesn't know how to forge weapons. However, when he was at the Great Xia Civilization Academy, he was a minor in the weapon forging department. He mainly learned his soul-expanding technique from Master Zhao, which is now more famous. That huge hammer is specially used to hammer people. Actually, Master Zhao used it to forge weapons. Suyu learned it to kill people. Divine amplification technique. This is a good thing." Zhou Hongba also smiled. I know about this too. It's a pity that he won't teach it to others. It's such a pity. This divine skill that can forge weapons and kill people is also first class. It should be passed down. Su Yu laughed. Brother Zhou, don't be envious. Everyone is still envious of the invincible secret technique. How many books have been passed down? That's different. Zhou Hongba smiled and said, the invincible secret technique is not to be passed on. That's because I'm worried that if the 10,000 clans obtain it, there will be some targeted research. Researcher Zhao Li is not invincible. It's just that Ling Yun can actually pass on the cultivation technique. Brother Cui, what do you think? I think. It's none of my business. I can't learn it. Su Yu laughed and said, however, we can go and chat. Does Master Zhao have a granddaughter? Even a great-granddaughter is fine. To be honest, if you can teach me the soul enlargement technique, I don't mind marrying into your family. Everyone was speechless. Here it comes again. Just how King young master do you want to acknowledge? Su Yu laughed heartily and very quickly looked at Xiao Li and said, Xiao Li, when we return to the Great Xia Manor later, I'll have to trouble you. Help me introduce you. I won't let you run around for nothing. How about a black-grade literary soldier? As he said that, he bared his teeth and laughed, it's nothing much. I just want to send the literary soldier that I forged to Master Zhao for him to take a look and let him give me some pointers. If he doesn't like me, then forget it. If he does like me, then this kind of armament forger of the same rank, who is about to advance in rank, should be of great help to me. This time, when I come to the Great Xia Manor, I also have the intention in this regard. Su Yu sighed and said, a black rank scribe can cast at least 37 golden patterns, 9 of them are first grade, and 46 of them are middle grade black rank scribes. I actually cast 46 middle grade black rank scribes in the 100 Path Pavilion, but when I went to cast them in the real world, I was always a little lacking. When he said this, everyone's expressions changed. Middle grade black rank. The 100 Path Pavilion could actually be viewed as the real world. This meant that Cui Lang was really just a little bit away from advancing to intermediate level of the mystic class. This was completely different from beginner level of the mystic class. At this moment, a large family clan, Shanhai, asked directly, young friend Cui, did you really create 46 golden patterns of literary weapons in the 100 Dao Pavilion? Do you still need to lie? Su Yu said unhappily, but reality can't do that. This time, I came out with this intention as well. I would like to consult some weapon forging masters from different systems. I studied the orthodox teachings of Daming Mansion and feel that I'm lacking a little. Perhaps my willpower is still a little weak. If I could reach Ling Yun, I would probably be at intermediate level of the mystic class. Mid-grade profound rank. This time, Zhou Hongba and the rest paid even more attention to him. This fellow's talent in weapon forging was really not weak. According to him, when he reached Ling Yun's level, he would definitely be able to forge a mid-grade profound rank weapon. At Ling Yun's level, he would most likely be able to reach the peak of the profound rank just like Zhao Li. Perhaps in 10 to 20 years, this fellow would become another earth rank weapon forging master. That's Zhao Li. At this moment, he hurriedly said, no problem. Brother Cui, don't worry. I am very familiar with Master Zhao Li's disciple. I will ask him to pass it on. However, Master Zhao might not look at it. I can't guarantee it. Su Yu smiled and said, that's fine. After we enter the city, we can go directly to the Great Xia Civilization Academy. To be honest, I am also very interested in Master Zhao's failed Earth-grade weapon. I am thinking that if I help him forge it, once it succeeds, can I obtain some benefits? If the literary soldier is successfully forged, will it be able to give me some willpower to help me temper it? Would it be able to help me step into Ling Yun? The moment these words were said, everyone instantly shut up. Forget it. You forge an Earth-rank literary soldier. Isn't that a little too arrogant? Suyu smiled and said, support, it's not like I'm the one casting it. My system is the orthodox system, and it comes from the forging system of the Great Ming Mansion. Master Zhao's forging system should be different from mine. It comes from the system of the fourth-generation mansion master of the Great Xia Mansion. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1423. 1423 Chapter 329, The Future 4. It's not that. Xiao Li explained, Master Zhao's temper is really weird. His senior brother, you should know that he's close to the heaven-rank weapon forging master. If he was willing, Master Zhao would have gone to his senior brother for help a few years ago. In the end, because Manor Head Zhao went to the Great Zhou Manor, Master Zhao actually doesn't recognize this senior brother anymore. Suyu said in surprise, that can't be right. I remember that Master Zhao's senior brother went to help with the video that Suyu released not long ago. It should be Master Zhao who invited him, right? I'm not sure about that, but everyone in the manor knows that Master Zhao doesn't like Principal Zhao Tianbing. Do you think he can let you help him forge weapons? He is now at the end of his rope. He must succeed in forging his own weapons. Otherwise, he would rather not forge weapons. Suyu smiled and said, that might not be the case. He has a grudge against his senior brother, and he doesn't have a grudge against me. Let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, then forget it. It's also good to broaden his horizons. Alright then. Xiao Li felt that he was dreaming. It was almost impossible. Xiao Li wasn't the kind of person with a good temper. Did you think that he would really want a genius of the weapon forging department like you? His own disciple already had a mystic rank weapon forging master. If he really wanted to find someone to help, there was no need to look for you. Everyone chatted the entire way. It wasn't until the 22nd of May that they arrived at the Great Xia Manor. At this moment, Feng Qi had just been escorted back by General Zhao. No one knew whether the invincible expert had arrived or not, but the Great Xia Manor had yet to announce the matter of the public trial. The others were prepared to pay a visit to some of their good friends. Some of them even had to go to the Xia family of the Great Xia Manor to find someone to inquire about the situation of the public trial. As for Suyu, he went straight to the Great Xia Civilization Academy with Xiao Li and the others. The Great Xia Institute of Civilization. Weapon Forging Academy. In Zhao Li's Research Institute, Zhao Li was studying puppets. He hadn't been out for a long time, and he was too lazy to go out either. The Great Xia Institute of Civilization was currently lifeless, but it was now lively. However, that wasn't what he wanted to be lively about. These days, he spent most of his time doing his own research. The doorbell rang. Zhao Li couldn't be bothered with it and pretended not to have heard it. Outside the door, his eldest disciple had a helpless expression as he shouted, "Teacher, there's a visitor." He actually didn't want to send any weapons to his teacher. In the past, he wouldn't have bothered with it, but now, he felt that his teacher might need to divert his attention. A genius weapon forging master from Daming Prefecture was a good choice. No. Teacher, it's a weapon forging master from the Daming Prefecture. He said that he knows junior brother Su and has reached the mystic rank weapon forging level. Teacher, the other party even sent his own work. Why don't you take a look? From the Daming Prefecture. Zhao Li said impatiently, doesn't the Daming Prefecture always look down on the Great Xia Prefecture's weapon forging masters? What are they doing in the Great Xia Prefecture? The other party is stuck between the primary and intermediate stages of the mystic rank. They want to find different ways to forge weapons and break through their ranks. They know teacher's strength, so they specially came to pay a visit. Furthermore, they are the in-name disciples of Manor Head Nyo. They are acquainted with junior brother Su. Suyu. Zhao Li muttered. He knew that brat. After thinking for a moment, he turned around and opened the door. His disciple was overjoyed. However, when he looked at Zhao Li again and saw that he had aged a lot, he felt a little sorrowful. "Teacher, take care of your body and rest more. Stop talking nonsense." Zhao Li said impatiently, "Do I need you to guide me? If you have some ability, you should enter the earth rank as soon as possible and stop bothering me. Where are the things? Let me see. If you are trash, get lost as soon as possible. I'm too lazy to see trash." His eldest disciple did not dare to delay and hurriedly handed over a box. Zhao Li picked it up and opened the box to take a look. He was slightly stunned. It was a knife. A small black knife. It was similar to the knife he had given to Su Yu in the past. Of course, it was not that knife. It was a black rank low-grade top-grade literary soldier that had forged 45 golden patterns. It could be considered a pretty good literary soldier. He picked it up and looked at it. After examining it for a while, he saw that it was the Deming Mansion's orthodox military forging technique. Zhao Li curled his lips and said, "The standard military forging technique is too ordinary. It's also something that came out from an assembly line. The Tianzhu king is doing such things to mislead people's disciples. The techniques that came from the 100 Dao Pavilion are the same as the Deming Mansions. Could it be that the Tianzhu king thinks that if everyone imitates him, they can become the next heaven-grade military forging master? If it was possible, the Daming Prefecture would have produced it long ago. That Hu Qi, if he hadn't learned his standard weapon forging technique in the past, he might have been able to compete with that Zhao fellow from the Great Zhou Prefecture. Now, he's far inferior. That's right, the 100 Dao Pavilion's weapon forging heritage came from the Tianzhu king, the only heaven-rank weapon forging master in the human realm. However, Zhao Li felt that that was the path of the Tianzhu king, and it didn't mean that it was suitable for everyone. It was lacking some spiritual energy. Everyone was learning the art of weapon forging. In his eyes, it was an assembly line product. Weapon forging masters needed to have their own thoughts. Their own thoughts were too rigid, and they didn't just blindly learn these things. The so-called genius of the Daming Prefecture was worthless in his eyes. His disciple hurriedly said, "Actually, it's not bad. The other party is only 35 years old. I think that this weapon is just a step away from being a mid-tier profound rank weapon forging master. Before the age of 40, there is hope for a high-tier profound rank weapon forging master. TCH, that is also a standard." Zhao Li curled his lips and looked at it with disdain. He flipped it over and was slightly stunned. On the back of the blade, there were a few small words carved. "When I entered the Ling Yun Sun and forged the heaven and earth weapon." He was slightly distracted and his disciple also saw it. He couldn't help but laugh. This Cui Lang is quite ambitious. I have long heard that he likes to boast. It is indeed true. Is he saying that he can forge the earth weapon just because he achieved Ling Yun? If that's the case, earth rank weapon forgers are everywhere.